Perhaps this was a long time ago, and Ning Xuyan calmed down. Then there was news from Luoyu that light power electronics were gradually being replaced by bioelectronics, and Luoyu's bioelectronics were mature. Even the world-renowned electronic corporations were beginning to research bioelectronics. Once the technology became mature, light electronics would be soon replaced. Fang Chong was very worried, and we were planning to invest large sums of money to research bioelectronics. Perhaps this was a long time ago, and Ning Xuyan calmed down. Then there was news from Luoyu that light power electronics were gradually being replaced by bioelectronics, and Luoyu's bioelectronics were mature. Even the world-renowned electronic corporations were beginning to research bioelectronics. Once the technology became mature, light electronics would be soon replaced. Fang Chong was very worried, and we were planning to invest large sums of money to research bioelectronics. Bioelectronics? Yimo frowned. He could understand light electronics, but this bioelectronics was something he didn't understand at all. Ning Xuyan nodded. Light electronics need light to work. At night, it wouldn't work, so it would need light storage devices to kickstart. Light storage was inconvenient and more costly than electricity. Meanwhile, bioelectronics can work at any time. It can even use the physical particles in the air to work. Yimo frowned. He definitely wouldn't believe that technology had this huge of a leap in a decade or so. This was an era-defining evolution. Yimo immediately said, "You believe that? No matter how fast technology advances, it can't be this fast." Ning Xuyan nodded. I didn't believe it, but Fang Chong's friend stole out a bioelectronic rice cooker from this bioelectric company. It didn't have any light storage device or other energy sources, but could work non-stop no matter where. It could cook rice anywhere. Even all the engineers in the company confirmed that it was indeed bioelectronics. There's such thing? Yimo asked in disbelief. Ning Siswang said, yes, brother-in-law, this bioelectric rice cooker was broadcasted on news too. Ning Xuyan sniffed, but she continued. After that, everyone was discussing the bioelectric rice cooker. Although bioelectric products haven't come out yet, the sales of light electronic products have reduced greatly. Everyone was waiting for the arrival of bioelectric products. I was very worried as our Ning family's main source of profit was light electronic products. If bioelectronic products were invented and other companies sold it, then our Ning family business would collapse if we didn't have the technology too. So you agreed to Fang Chong's request to invest in bioelectronic research? Yimo asked. Ning Xuyan nodded yes. Fang Chong told me to invest less at the start, but I was desperate and didn't listen to him. We invested more and more, and just when I didn't dare to invest more, Fang Chong suddenly told me that the bioelectronic research was complete. But at this moment things happened. We were sued by the company who made the rice cooker. They said that our Ning family stole their model and their research product. They requested that we compensate for their loss and hand over all bioelectric research results. Ning Xuyan said, because bioelectronics was a new technology, the compensation they asked was astronomical. Even if we sold everything, we would barely be able to pay it. Fang Chong felt he owed me as he caused this. If he didn't find his friend to steal that, this wouldn't happen. He left behind his last words and took all the blame, saying this had nothing to do with the Ning family electronics, and then he suicided. Ning Xuyan sniffed again. Ning Siswang picked up some tissue and comforted Ning Xuyan. Yimo had never seen Fang Chong and didn't know what sort of person he was, but his meticulous habit in the cultivation realm made him realize at least two holes in her words. First, how discreet was bioelectronic product research? How could Fang Chong's friend steal it? Plus, it has been stolen for that long, and the rice cooker even went on TV. The Ning family also completed the technology research, and then that company reacted? Second, if the technology was so developed, why hasn't mature products gone on market yet? Yimo asked, are those bioelectric products on sale in the market yet? Ning Xuyan shook her head, not yet. That company wanted to, but due to the court case with our Ning family, the police announced that only when the copyright to the technology was distinct could these products go on markets. So all the critics helped that company, as everyone wants this to end, so the products would go on the market. Ning Siswang said, I saw Xuyan being very confused, so I came with her and Fei Fei to the seaside to loosen up. In a few days, when all the Ning family assets are gone, I'm planning to let Xuyan come with me to Luoyu City. How's Luoyu City? Yimo asked casually. Ning Siswang nodded. It's very good. It's very pretty and City Lord Huang is very nice. He often visits my parents. Yi Mo nodded. Huang Yinian didn't forget his roots. Ning Shuyan looked worriedly at Yi Mo. When all of the Ning family assets are gone, I have nowhere to go. Siswang said for me to go Luoyu. Ning Shuyan sighed. Luoyu City belongs to everyone now. Go if you want. I don't really have an opinion about it anyways. Thank you, Ning Shuyan said. Yi Mo didn't mind. Just call me Yi Mo. I just act me back today. I haven't been back to Luoyu yet. I also have something to ask you. Suddenly, Yi Mo asked, where's that rice cooker? It's been taken by the police. It's evidence. It wouldn't be kept here. Ning Shuyan said sadly. All our research products have been locked up by the police. Before this is over, we can't take it out. Although Yi Mo knew this was very suspicious, but he had no intentions of helping. He would go visit Su Jingwen's mother, and then go back to Luoyu. But then since the person behind all this already got the Ning family assets, why send people here? Were the two masked men related to this? Ning Shuyan suddenly asked, Yi, what did you want to ask me before? Yi Mo nodded and said to the kitchen, you two can come out. Before the two realized what Yi Mo meant, two masked men came out from the kitchen. One of them had a knife. Ning Siswang screamed. She didn't expect there were two people hiding there. Ning Shuyan's face changed drastically and ran up to Fei Fei, protecting her. But then, the two's eyes were full of shock as though they didn't dare to believe. When Yi Mo told them to come out, they weren't planning to listen to Yi Mo, but their bodies moved out on their own. They can't move at all other than walk. The two girls looked dazedly as the two masked men walk up to Yi Mo and kneel on the ground, pulling down their masks obediently. What are you guys doing here? Yi Mo asked calmly. We came to take Fei Fei, the two answered. We came to take Fei Fei, the two answered. Yi Mo felt bewildered. He thought the two were related to Ning Shuyan. Who told you to come? Yi Mo asked again. Our corporate boss. What is your corporation? What is your boss's name? 11 Tang Corporation. Boss is called Dongfang Chong. Shitang again. Our Ning family has given the entire company to Shitang. What else do you want? You want Fei Fei? Keep dreaming. I won't let Fei Fei leave no matter what. Ning Shuyan raged. Yi Mo sighed. Don't you understand? That Dongfang Chong is your husband. He came to steal your Ning family electronics. Ning Shuyan was dumbfounded. After a long while she suddenly said, that's impossible. This is impossible. Fang Chong was that nice to me, and even gave up his life for us too. Yi Mo said no more. It didn't matter if Ning Shuyan believed it or not. Shitang Corporation, clearly this was related to the Dongfang family again. Dongfang Chong spent many years stealing the Ning family wealth. According to his knowledge of Dongfang Wang, this wasn't his style. Even if this fortune was given to Dongfang Wang for free, he would at most nod. If Dongfang Wang planned this, Yi Mo was certain it would be less than half a year, and the Ning family wealth would change name. Ning Siswang comforted Ning Shuyan, don't get agitated. Let me ask clearly. Ning Siswang asked the two men, is Dongfang Chong Fang Chong? Was he at the Ning Family Corporation before? But Ning Siswang's words had no power. Yi Mo grunted, and the two men shivered reply, yes, we were at the Ning Family Corporation with boss before. Ning Shuyan's face went pale immediately, but she soon calmed down. When she saw clearly the two men's faces, she pointed at the two. You two. You were the electronics specialists that Fang Chong brought to research bioelectronics? Yi Mo sneered. The two's hands were full of calluses. They were clearly killers. No, we didn't invent bioelectronic products. Hearing this, Ning Shuyan realized what was going on. She didn't know why Fang Chong tricked her, but she realized she was tricked. Yi Mo released the two's binding. They were drenched in sweat and looked fearfully at Yi Mo, not daring to do anything. Did Fang Chong not die? Which body was it before? Ning Shuyan asked powerlessly. The two immediately replied, yes, boss sent us. Boss also told us not to harm you, he. Shut up. Ning Shuyan yelled. Yi Mo suddenly asked, Dongfang Wang wouldn't use such trash means. Where is Dongfang Wang? The two shivered. They were scared of Yi Mo's the most. Yi Mo's force made them unable to move. The slightly fatter man answered, young master went to the fabled small world. He left from the Duanheng mountain ranges. Yimo was planning to kill Dongfang Wang first, but he wasn't here. Lucky him. Piss off, Yimo said to the two coldly. Hearing this, the two quickly rushed out, but they were so desperate that they took a while to even open the door. They disappeared immediately as they left. Yimo was too scary for them. Ning Siswang and Ning Shuyan looked strangely at Yimo, as though not expecting Yimo to let them go so easily. Ning Siswang heard a lot of tales about her brother-in-law. It seemed that her brother-in-law was too easy to talk to now, and some of the tales weren't true. According to the stories, her brother-in-law wouldn't let these two go. But she didn't know what Yimo was thinking. If it was some ordinary robbery, Yimo would turn them into dust, but the Dongfang family was a different story. He needed to deal with Dongfang Wang, but Dongfang Wang wasn't here. However, there was that Dongfang Chong that he couldn't allow to live. He wanted to annihilate the entire family, so he let the two go. With his spirit sense, as long as these two were still on Earth, they wouldn't be able to leave. Shuyan, don't feel bad. Brother-in-law had agreed you can come with me to Luoyu City with Fei Fei. Luoyu is really pretty, Ning Siswang said, seeing Ning Shuyan's pale face. Ning Shuyan shook her head after a while, but the bioelectric Feng Chong brought back was real. It didn't need any light power or electric power. Ning Siswang also looked at Yimo, not understanding what this was. Yimo smiled. That rice cooker was definitely designed by Yixing. He likes to do these sort of things when he's bored. The Dongfang family stayed in power at Luoyu for so long. It's normal they can bring out such things. As for power, this thing might not even be as good as light power. It's using an energy source called Extreme Energy Stone. This energy source is brought by asteroids. There's none on Earth. So that's it. Ning Shuyan murmured and felt powerless. Everyone had been tricked. Brother-in-law, where's my sister? Ning Siswang asked. Yimo answered, she can't come back yet. When I'm done with these things, I will go to Luoyu City, but don't worry, she's very fine. Then, Yimo took out a crystal ball. This is where your sister and I live. Have a look. Ning Siswang took the crystal ball and immediately saw an extreme beautiful scene. This was recorded when Yimo took Qingxue and Luoying back to Luoyu City. Such a beautiful place. Brother-in-law, is that sister Luoying? She's so pretty. So is my sister. Ning Siswang was very proud of her looks before, but now seeing Luoying and Ning Qingxue, she felt uneasy. But she forgot about that quickly and grabbed the crystal ball. How did you make this crystal ball? Can I have it? Take it. Yimo nodded. He meant to give this to her anyways. Brother-in-law, just stay here today. You can sleep in my room. I can squeeze with Shuyan and Fei Fei. Ning Siswang still had a lot to ask, so she deigned want Yimo to go. Yimo shook his head. No need. I'm going immediately. Then he looked at Ning Shuyan. I want to ask you. Did you great-grandpa ask back that fishtail? It was this indeed. Ning Shuyan guessed that Yimo came here to ask about that. Now it seemed she was right, so she answered without hesitation, yes, great-grandpa knew that you took the two fish tails seriously, so he went to Japan and got the two tails back. Great-grandpa was going to Luoyu himself to give it to you, but not long after, great-grandpa's health deteriorated, so he gave the two fish tails to me before he passed away, telling me to give it to you if I ever saw you. I let the fish tails in a safety box in a Ning Hai bank. Ning Siswang suddenly said, I see. The key you told me to give to my sister was meant for my brother-in-law? Yes. Ning Shuyan nodded. Seeing Yimo look at her, Ning Siswang quickly said, the key isn't on me. It's in my dorm. Seeing Yimo look at her, Ning Siswang quickly said, the key isn't on me. It's in my dorm. I'm also studying at Ning Hai University. I'll be going back the day after tomorrow. Why don't you stay here today, and we can go back to Ning Hai together. Then we can go back to Luoyu. Yimo breathed easy. The fishtails were safe. He got up and said, then I will go find you at Ning Hai Uni. I still have some things tonight. I'll be going. Huh. Ning Siswang didn't expect Yimo to go this quickly. She was scared Yimo would leave for another decade again. It's so late. Why don't you stay here for a night? We can find a place to stay tomorrow and then leave together the day after. Ning Shuyan said. Yimo shook his head and said to Siswang, I'll go find you at Ning Hai in days. Fei Fei had fallen asleep, so Yimo didn't disturb her. After Yimo left for a long while, Ning Siswang remembered Yimo didn't have a plane ticket, and wanted to remind him, but Yemo was gone. My brother-in-law doesn't even have a plane ticket. How can he got to Ninghai? Ning Siswang said desperately. Ning Xuyan shook her head. I heard great-grandpa say that if it's something your brother-in-law decides, he can do it. Don't worry. 3 hours later, when it was almost dawn, an ordinary SUV covered in dust parked outside a suburban mansion. 2 people got off. It was the 2 people planning to take Fei Fei. As soon as they came out, they rushed into the mansion. Before they knocked, the door already opened. Clearly the person inside was waiting for these 2. Where is she? They heard a cold voice. We didn't bring her back? The skinnier man replied. The man said coldly again, then what are you doing back here? I let them come back. Yemo's voice sounded. Yemo saw there were already 3 people inside the mansion sitting around a round table, as though waiting for the 2. The 2 men turned back in horror and said in shock, it's you? They didn't see anyone following them on the way there, but someone did come here. How did this person follow them? The 2 really couldn't understand, but thinking about how they couldn't even move in front of Yemo, they were very worried. It's you? The man speaking before said in shock, you're called Dongfang Chong? The one who tricked Xuyan? Yemo scanned the man. Boss, we didn't finish the mission because of him. The fat man was scared of Yemo, but more scared of his boss. Yemo smiled and threw out 2 fireballs casually. The 2 men disappeared instantly without a sound. The 2 men next to Dongfang Chong got up in shock. After a while, Dongfang Chong said, you're back indeed. Yemo, that's right. I'm the Dongfang Chong you're looking for. Yemo shook his head in disappointment. The person I want to kill is Dongfang Wang. Sigh, it's only a small fish here. Where did that Dongfang Wang go? I'm certain he isn't here. Otherwise, how can he use such low means to trick that little wealth of the Ning family? Dongfang Chong gasped and said the young master had left. One day, he would come back, but not now. So you're continuing his dream to establish 11 Tang? Yemo said calmly. Dongfang Chong shook his head. No, I know I don't have the ability. You forced young master to have nowhere to go. He hates you, but he knows he's no match for you. When the Duan Hung formation activated, he went there to go to the small world immediately. You know you don't have that ability, but you still want to trick the Ning family company? Yemo sneered. His tone was getting cold. Dongfang Chong said again, whether you believe it or not, I didn't plan to trick Xuyan. I love her and Fei Fei. Yemo snorted in contempt. Dongfang Chong continued, when the thing happened, Shitang Dongfang was gone. Even the young master can't change things, much less me. The people of the Dongfang family split off, and each went their own path. The only one of direct lineage still staying here is me, Dongfang Yi. I've never wanted to rebuild Shitang. I, like Brother Chong, just want the people of the Dongfang family to be able to eat and live happily. I know that no one of Shitang wants to rebuild it. They just want to live a happy and stable life. Dongfang Chong sighed. Brother Chong died at Luoyu, but I knew his last wish. It wants to rebuild Shitang, but to let everyone in the Shitang village to be able to live a happy life. I succeeded his will and changed my name to Dongfang Chong to fulfill this goal. Dongfang Chong said dejectedly, a lot of money is needed to rebuild 11 Tang. But after the Dongfang family split, we have no wealth. I chose for a long time before choosing the Ning Family Corporation. After marrying Xuyan, I really did fall in love with her, and I have no intentions of harming her. I was planning to bring her here. So you went to abduct your own daughter? Yemo sneered. Dongfang Chong shook his head. Other than Fei Fei, I have no other way to persuade Xuyan to come to Shitang. When they come to Shitang, I will let them live a happy life. Yemo shook his head speechlessly. You tricked and took the Ning family assets to build Shitang, and you still expect Ning Xuyan to live a peaceful life with you? Did the Ning family get their wealth for free, and they should give it to your Shitang? Xuyan has married me. Her assets are my assets. What difference is there? Dongfang Chong rebuked. Since there's no difference, why didn't you tell her? Instead, you this low mean to take it? That 11 Tang Corporation is just an empty shell too, right? Yemo said coldly. Dongfang Chong rebuke. I was afraid she wouldn't agree, and that would affect our relationship. Yemo couldn't be bothered talking anymore. He slapped Dongfang Chong's head with cultivation essence giant hand. He wasn't killing him. He wanted to see where this Shitang was. But then, Yemo was speechless. This village had moved to Vietnam, and there was less than 200 of them. They wanted to live a good life after stealing the fortune. But he was being genuine about helping his people escape poverty. Without the three Dongfang brothers, Shitang village had fallen to such an extent. Yimo knew that from now on, 11 Tang would be history. Yimo killed the rest except for Dongfang Yi. He still had some things for him to do. The second day, Dongfang Chong suddenly had a press conference saying that he discovered his conscientious. He was of the Shitang Corporation, but he played dead and went into the Ning family to steal their fortune. As for the bioelectronics, it was bullshit. With this, everyone was shocked out of their eyeballs. The most absurd thing was that after making this news press, Dongfang Chong jumped off a building, ending his life in front of everyone. No one believed Dongfang Chong found his conscientious, but this really did happen. Why is it like this? Ning Siswang looked at the news report in disbelief. Ning Shuyan saw Dongfang Chong jump and her eyes went red. Luckily Feifei didn't see this. Regardless, this person was her father. Ning Shuyan saw Dongfang Chong jump and her eyes went red. Luckily Feifei didn't see this. Regardless, this person was her father. Ning Shuyan knew that this all happened because Yimo came back. She had heard of how decisive and cruel Yimo did things from her great-grandpa. Now it really did seem so. Yimo only knew this last night, but it was already resolved this morning. Ning Siswang didn't ask anymore. She guessed that Yimo might have done this was too unbelievable. After Yimo did things to Dongfang Chong, he didn't bother paying attention to that anymore. At this moment, he was at Ninghai. Ninghai was the place he had the most memories. It was the place he first came to, and the place he had the most emotional ties. He came to the small yard he once lived at. Yimo found that there was someone still cleaning this place. It was very clean inside and outside. Yimo came in and realized that no one actually lived here, but there was someone coming to clean this place every period of time. The belongings in the house were left untouched. Yimo stood in this place for a few hours until someone entered the yard. Yimo just realized that it was daylight. Who are you? How did you get in here? It was a woman in her 50s. I lived here before and I happened to come passing by, so I came to visit. Who are you? I've never seen you before? Yimo asked. The woman looked at Yimo with uncertainty. I was hired to clean here every day. So this was it? Yimo nodded. It was probably the Ning Zhongfei couple hiring this woman. Leaving this yard, Yimo scanned his spirit sense out. He came back to the same place, but the people were different. Jingwen and Qingxue weren't here. He wanted to go visit Jingwen's mother and then go back to Luoyu City and see the old friends there before he went back to Luoyu continent. Although this was where he lived before, he missed Luoyu City more. His family was there. But when Yimo scanned his spirit sense out, he didn't find Su Jingwen's mother in the entire Ninghai city. Soon, Yimo saw a familiar person on the streets. It was that Su Mei he didn't like. She wasn't the young girl like before and seemed more like a mature married woman. There was a woman in her 30s next to her, and the two were walking on the streets. Yimo quickly came and stopped in front of her. Su Mei frowned, but when she saw Yimo, she screamed. Su Mei pointed at Yimo. It's you? You're Yimo? How can you not have changed at all? The eyes of the woman next to Su Mei lit up immediately upon seeing Yimo. Seeing that Su Mei knew Yimo, she was even more happy. She didn't expect there to be such a perfect man. His temperament and body was exactly what she was looking for. Mimi, you know him? Introduce us. The woman pushed Su Mei. Su Mei quickly said, wait. Yimo didn't ask anything. He waited till Su Mei calmed down completely before asking politely, Su Mei, I want to ask, where is Jingwen's mother? Hearing this, she raged, Yimo, where did you get Sister Jingwen to go? Tell me, where is she? Yimo frowned. He didn't want to talk to her, but he had to ask her about Su Jingwen's mother. Realizing this, Yimo resisted the urge to leave and just wanted to speak when the woman next to her said, Mei, don't get so excited. Talk slowly. Is he called Yimo? Yimo saw this woman help him and studied her. She was on par with Su Mei in looks, and her body was even bustier than Su Mei. Her eyes had a peachy look. Yimo frowned. This woman's chi was very mixed. More so than the green-robed woman he saw in the Sand River. One could see how promiscuous she was. But Yimo nodded to her politely. Yes, I'm Yimo. Su Mei finally calmed down a little and sneered. Yimo, Where's my cousin? What did you do to her? Yemo said calmly, she's with me. She's very well now, you don't need to worry. I came to you just to ask where Animu is. Very well? And there's no news of her for more than a decade? No phone call for more than a decade. Su Mei wanted to grab Yemo's collar. Yemo grabbed her wrist and said calmly, it's up to you if you believe it, but only I need to know she's fine. Yemo saw with his own eyes Blue Moon charging out of the region of the sea quake. With Blue Moon's speed, even if Ji Ling wasn't Truth Realization State Cultivator, they would be able to arrive at Mo City safely, much less Ji Ling was a Truth Realization State Cultivator. Plus, he had slept with Su Jingwen, and thus if something happened to her, he would be able to sense it with his sixth sense. If it wasn't that Su Mei was Su Jingwen's cousin, and she was indeed worried about Su Jingwen, Yemo would have searched her mind already. Seeing more and more people watch them, Yemo frowned. He even wanted to forcefully read Su Mei's memory, but at this moment a man in his 40s saw Yemo and suddenly walked up to Yemo. Just when Yemo didn't know what this guy wanted, he suddenly knelt down. Su Mei and her friend dazed, and so did everyone. He was clearly a wealthy person. His dress showed that he had no simple status, but someone like that knelt down. Then, the man said, Master Mo, I've finally found you. Then as though feeling he recognized the wrong person, he quickly got up and bowed to Yemo. May I ask if you're a descendant of Master Mo? I saw you looked exactly the same as Master Mo, but the last time I saw him was more than a decade ago. You two look exactly the same. Yemo was confused what this guy was on about. Seeing this, the middle-aged man said respectfully, many years ago, my father and I met the almighty Master Mo on a plane. Master Mo and Master Mingjishan were together, but my father missed the opportunity to know Master Mo for being rude. Then my Mi family went to find Master Mingjishan, but even he didn't know where Master Mo went. We've been searching for Master Mo all these years, and I see that you look exactly the same as Master Mo. So? Yemo looked at this man and said, I remember. Your father said I was a fraud on the plane. I said your father has heart problems, but he didn't believe me. By the way, how is your father? Huh. The man dazed and immediately was about to kneel down again. Yemo quickly stopped him. If there's anything, just say it. I am really blind. I didn't know you are Master Mo. Master Mo is almighty. How can you age like us mortals? The middle-aged man said in agitation. Yemo, come with me to Ming Xian Hospital now. Sister Jingwen's mother is about to leave. If it wasn't that she missed Jingwen, she would have long left. Su Mei suddenly said. Knowing this, Yemo immediately scanned with spirit sense and soon found the hospital. It wasn't in the city center, but it was very luxurious. Knowing this, Yemo immediately scanned with spirit sense and soon found the hospital. It wasn't in the city center, but it was very luxurious. Knowing this, Yemo didn't want to waste time talking to Su Mei anymore and dashed out. No one watching could feel Yemo leaping away. Yemo didn't use any extraordinary means, as disappearing into thin air was too absurd, but when Yemo leaped out, another person stopped him. Patron Ye's killing intent is too dense. Come with me to cultivate in serenity for a while. A peaceful voice sounded before Yemo. Seeing this person to be Wu Dao monk, Yemo was speechless. He only killed a few Shitang people after coming back, and this was considered too murderous. But Yemo felt strange. He only killed the Dongfang people last night. How did Wu Dao know? Old monk, long time no see. Yemo smiled. Wu Dao was no match for him before, and now, he wouldn't even need to move to annihilate him. But Yemo had a good impression of this old monk, who didn't mind his own business, so he didn't attack. Old monk, I have some business to do. If you want to find me, then go to Ming Xian Hospital quickly, or I won't wait for you. Patron Yi, you might not be able to leave now. Then, Wu Dao grabbed at Yemo's wrist. Seeing this, Yemo knew that Wu Dao improved a lot. He was on par with Li Cheng of the small world, but he didn't have time to waste with this old man. He leaped out again. Wu Dao didn't mind seeing that Yemo tried to escape. He thought it was impossible for Yemo to leave in front of him, but then he was dazed. He missed, and Yemo was nowhere to be seen. He spun around, and Yemo was nowhere to be seen. At this moment, a voice sounded by his ear. Old monk, those people I killed last night deserved it. You wouldn't think I killed wrongly, right? Wu Dao was extremely shocked. He instantly knew that Yimo's power wasn't something that he could even fathom. He immediately disappeared in the crowd and headed towards Ming Xian Hospital. Where is he? The woman with Sume asked in shock. This guy has always been sneaky. Sume was confused why Yimo disappeared, but she was still unhappy. Master Imo went to Ming Xian Hospital. The middle-aged man reacted quickly and immediately dashed out, clearly heading for the hospital. In the Ming Xian Hospital, Yimo saw the old and feeble Mu An in a top-grade room. Heside, Tang Mingrao was many times older than Mu An, but she was so young. Is Wenwen back? Mu An was about to pass away, but she seemed to know Yimo coming in and struggled to sit up. Yimo really wanted to give Mu An some pills, but then he realized it was inconvenient for him. He had many good pills, but they all removed poison and impurities from the body. Who would help her wash? He should have brought Sume here. Jingwen isn't back. She's very well. I came to visit you first. Yimo said. You're Yimo? That rune master. Mu An recognized Yimo and called out in joy. She knew her daughter was in love with Yimo and went to find him. She asked again, is Jingwen all right? Did she find you? Did she come back? Hearing this, Yimo thought of that snowy day on the streets of a small city where Jingwen almost died. If she did, how would he face this mother? Seeing her expectant eyes, Yimo comforted Mu An's body with his cultivation essence and said, Ani, don't worry, Jingwen is with me. She didn't come back this time, but she will come back and visit you in the future. There was a sliver of disappointment in her eyes, and she said, you need to treat her well. She's a little emotional and very stubborn on some things. Then, she said again, I heard you have 2 wives? Yimo nodded awkwardly. He had more than 2. Mu An sighed, Jingwen has to like you. She came later on. Don't look down on her sigh. Where is Jingwen? I'm going. I really want to see her. Mu An couldn't resist asking. Yimo could only say Jingwen is in a place cultivating to become an immortal. When her cultivation is ready, she can come and visit you. Even though she knew Yimo had the ability to make runes, she was still so angry she fainted upon hearing this. Yimo could only wake her with cultivation essence as he said helplessly, Auntie, everything I said is real. Yimo quickly said, don't you feel much better than just then? This is treatment with cultivation essence. He also quickly took out the crystal ball of when Su Jingwen reached hollow spirit state. Auntie, if you still don't believe me, look at this. It's when Jingwen reached a milestone in cultivation. Looking at Su Jingwen flying around in the sky after the divine damnation, she was dazed. Her daughter was younger than before and even prettier. Was there really immortals in this world? Was her daughter an immortal? But then, she realized she was tricked and said melancholically to Yimo, don't trick me with these computer-synthesized images. Jingwen is my baby, tell me. Where is she? Yimo was speechless. Auntie, see if I have aged. I've been cultivating too, so I look very young. Mu An just remembered that the last time she saw Yimo was many years ago, and he was still this young now. Was he really an immortal? But then, she realized that Yimo was a rune master. He would have the ability to keep himself looking young. She tried to calm herself and said to Yimo, Yimo, I just want to know where my daughter is. Don't lie to me saying it's cultivation. Okay, even if she's cultivating, I think it's fine for me to see her, right? Seeing that Yimo was speechless, Mu An said with despair, you say you're an immortal. Then treat my illness and make me look young again. If you can't even treat me, why lie to me that you're an immortal? I know you're a rune master and I have this energy now to your treatment before, but I really miss my daughter. Yimo, please I beg you, let me see my daughter. Yimo's heart was aching hearing this. He knew that Su Jingwen was very close to her mother while her father was focused on his career. If possible, he really would like to bring Mu An to see Su Jingwen, but he couldn't. Yimo said seriously, Ani, I can make you a few decades younger and treat your illness in less than an hour. But I can't do it here. If you regain your youthful look, it would cause an uproar. Mu An smiled, but there was no real smile on her face. It was like her watching the show of a liar. Cure me. If you can really cure me in an hour, then I will believe you. Otherwise, please tell me if Su Jingwen is alive or dead. Emo could only say, I was thinking that too. Come out of the hospital with me, and then go home to eat the pills. After you eat the pills, there will be waste expunged out of your body. You need to wash it in time. When Su-Mei is back, she can help you. Emo could only say, I was thinking that too. Come out of the hospital with me, and then go home to eat the pills. After you eat the pills, there will be waste expunged out of your body. You need to wash it in time. When Su-Mei is back, she can help you. Muin's eyes didn't even flinch, and she said calmly, according to what you say, if I can turn youthful, I would need someone to help me. Plus, you would tell me that pill would only work after a long time, right? Pausing for a moment, Muin's tone grew calm instead. Master Yi, I know you're a powerful person. No matter if you made the clear spirit rune, or you got it somewhere else, it's your capability. But I know my condition. I can't survive till the day Jingwen comes back. Just tell me, how is Jingwen? Emo helplessly took out 3 pills, these 3 pills. Before Emo even finished, Muin ate the 3 pills. It immediately turned into a spirit liquid that was digested by the organs. Emo could stop it, but he didn't. Since she wanted to try now, he would let her try. After eating the pill, she showed a self-mockery expression. I've eaten the pills now. Can you tell me what happened to Su Jingwen? Emo sighed. Auntie, I think you should go to the bathroom and wash first. This was high-class room, and there were top-quality bathrooms. Just when she wanted to say something, her face suddenly changed. There was a huge rustling in her body, which then turned into huge pain. Then, a cool and soothing spirit liquid swept over, almost making her moan. A few minutes later, she felt every part of her body was turning, and there was a burning sensation. It slowly expanded outwards until it burned the skin. After this burning, there was a cooling chi slowly flowing. This felt very strange, but Muin felt it indeed. Was this real? She thought of the effect of the rune Su Jingwen said before and felt more and more that Emo might be telling the truth. Before she could ask, there was this putrid smell seeping out of her body. Looking at it, Muin saw it was black sweat mixed with this mud-like substance. Muin instantly realized that Emo was telling the truth. She felt embarrassed and quickly went into the bathroom. She didn't even realize how she could get up so quickly and charge into the bathroom. She couldn't even get up before. Water splashed, and just when Emo wanted to leave, a nurse came in with a trolley. She immediately asked, Who are you? Why are you here without permission? Emo rubbed his nose, and before he said anything, the nurse screamed, Where's the patient? Where did the patient go? What is this smell? Emo waved his hand, and the strange smell disappeared. There was an anxious voice in the bathroom. Is it Xiaoyu? I'm in the bathroom. I am fine. Just wait for me outside. Animu, how did you get in the bathroom yourself? How is that possible? The nurse's face went into a worry. She checked not long ago that Muin couldn't move. Muin completely understood what Emo said now. She didn't even dare to believe this. In the big mirror, she didn't look at all. She looked like a woman in her 40s. Her skin was smoother than it was when she was actually this age. Her body was so smooth that she was a little embarrassed to look at it. How is this possible? But it happened indeed. That instant, Muin believed Emo. Her daughter was really cultivating to be an immortal. The crystal ball Emo gave her was real. Or perhaps she just needed to ask if Emo could fly and she would know. She even regretted forcing Emo to take out the pill. If word got out, the whole world would be asking for her secret. Emo walked out of the room. In the broad corridor, Emo sat down on the chair. Su Jingwen's mother was 30 years younger. Clearly she can't stay in Ninghai anymore. He had planned to take her to Luoyu City when he left, so settle with Ning Qingshua's parents. In his spirit sense, an old monk rushed here. Other people wouldn't be able to see him seerely, but Emo smiled. This old monk wasn't slow. After this monk reached Great Heaven State, he turned younger. Patron Yi. Wu Dao saw Emo sitting on the bench. Emo patted the chair. Have a seat, big monk. Long time no see. Your martial arts have improved. You've reached the real Great Heaven. Not bad. Wu Dao didn't sit down and instead said, Patron Ye's prowess is through the heavens. You've surpassed Great Heaven. I've been sitting in a well. Emo smiled. I've been out for more than a decade, but you say my killing intent is too dense. Where did you get this from? Wu Dao frowned and said after a long while, Were Hong Martial Sect, Dian Song Sect, Juming Academy, and these sects not annihilated by you? You annihilated the Gourd Cove and forced Dian Song to seal their sect. When did this happen? Even Yimo wanted to know who annihilated these hidden sections. Even if the person had conflict with an individual sect, there was no need to annihilate them all. Plus, that needed power. Because of the teleportation formation to the small world opening, almost all the masters of the hidden sects had left, but there were still some masters left. Wu Dao realized this had nothing to do with Yimo, but he still answered. It's been 3 months. These 3 months, hidden sects kept being found and annihilated. Some sects didn't even have any livestock left. Hearing this, Yimo scanned with his spirit sense. He cared about Serenity. That was where Susu was at before. But Yimo didn't find anyone there. He asked, Big Monk, where did the Serenity sect people go? Wu Dao sighed. When I got to Serenity, they might have been slaughtered already. Other than Jing Hui who went out, there might be no one left from Serenity? When did you go to Serenity? Yimo couldn't keep his calm face anymore and got up abruptly. He thought of the kind and amicable Jing Xian nun and was furious. Patron Yi, I've been to Serenity and I saw a few people getting killed. The rest of the people might not be killed. They might have gone into hiding under the leadership of sect leader Jing Xian. Seeing Yimo's fury, the monk quickly said, Yimo sneered, Monk, no matter who did this, I'm intervening for sure. You don't need to worry. I will solve this matter within a day. Wu Dao just wanted to say something but saw Su Mei and that middle-aged man come in. That friend of Su Mei was behind her. Yimo, when did you come? How did you come this fast? Did you see Jingwen's mother? Su Mei asked. Yimo frowned. Ani is fine. Don't worry, she will come out soon. Su Mei raised a brow. Do you have any conscientious? Auntie is sick like that, and you say she's fine. Are you a human? Xiao Mei, I'm really fine. Don't blame Yimo, Muan said shakily, and the nurse behind her was still full of shock. Xiao Mei, I'm really fine. Don't blame Yimo, Muan said shakily, and the nurse behind her was still full of shock. You? Su Mei, like the nurse, looked at Mu, and with extreme shock. After a long while, she said, Your auntie? Muan nodded to Su Mei and said, Xiao Mei, it's not convenient to tlack here. Let's go back first. Yimo, come with us too. I have a lot to ask you. Yimo nodded to Su Mei. Su Mei, go back with Ani first. I'll come over in a bit. I still have some things here. Muan nodded and pulled Su Mei out of the hospital. Master Imo? The middle-aged man came up and asked carefully. Seeing this, Yimo said, Is your father still alive? You want me to treat your father? Yes, yes. The middle-aged man quickly said, When my father went back, his heart condition soon deteriorated, but by then, we couldn't find Master Imo anymore. My father sent people to find Mrs. Qing Kue, and hearing that she was treated by you, my father went to find Master Mengjishan, but we didn't get any news of you. Your father is not bad, surviving till now. Yimo approved. When he was on the plane, he saw that the man didn't have much time to live. The middle-aged man quickly said, It's because my father always uses Luo Yu's heart-preserving pill, and thus he was able to save his life. Yimo nodded. Being able to use the heart-preserving pill so frequently, they weren't just ordinary wealthy people. He took out a paper casually and drew a few runes on it before giving it to the middle-aged man. Take this back and put it on his chest. He would be fine an hour later. Although Yimo was no rune master, but with his truth realization state level 3 power, it was too easy to cure a heart disease patient with rune. His pills were too precious, and there was no need to waste them. The middle-aged man took the paper reverently, and after putting it away, he took out a card. He knew Yimo's rules. Yimo waved his hand. I have no need for money. You can go. The middle-aged man saw that Yimo was waiting for Wu Dao and knew Yimo had more important things. He quickly put away the card and thanked Yimo again before leaving. Then, Yimo asked Wu Dao, Do you have any clues on the culprits for annihilating the hidden sects? If there was any clue, Yimo would be able to find it with his spirit sense no matter where these people hid. Wu Dao shook his head. No clues. A surviving black-level ancient martial artist from the Jiuming Academy saw they wore gray robes. They are very powerful and have extremely powerful weapons. Do they have marks on the clothes? Yimo asked. This would help him find them faster. Gray clothes were useless clues to other people, but for Yimo, this was enough. No. Wu Dao answered. Yimo nodded and didn't talk. Wu Dao sighed. He knew that Yimo's power was far beyond his. Something that he wasn't able to do might truly be done by Yimo. He suddenly really wanted to ask Yimo what was above great heaven, but just when he was about to ask, he realized, what was the point of asking if he wasn't at that state? Realizing this, he didn't disturb Yimo and disappeared into the streets. Yimo stood in the hallway of the hospital and closed his eyes. His spirit sense expanded out. It was hard to search for one gray-clothed man, but it wasn't hard to search for a group of them. Yimo stood in the hallway with his eyes closed, not moving at all. Many people felt this was strange, but no one would ask Yimo anything. Only a nurse bit her lips waiting by Yimo's side. "Xiao Yu, what are you doing there?" another nurse asked. Xiao Yu quickly said, "Wait for me, I'll come soon." The nurse looked at the two and nodded in confusion. Xiao Yu was the nurse in Muan's room. Seeing Muan's change and how Yimo gave that middle-aged man a white paper, and that middle-aged man took out a bank card, she knew Yimo was no ordinary person. She didn't dare to disturb Yimo. An hour later, Xiao Yu's legs were sore and she wanted to sit down, but Yimo suddenly opened his eyes. He grunted. His spirit sense stopped at a place a few thousand kilometers from Ninghai called Mang River. It was close to the sea, and many illegal immigrants came from there. At this moment, Yimo's spirit sense landed in an insignificant town there. It didn't seem like there were a lot of people here. Theoretically, being a coastal city town, it should be quite prosperous, but instead, it was more like a shanty town. There were large rows of ancient-styled constructs and a row of old walls encompassing these buildings, forming a separate district. There were some huge family ancestral halls that were also very run down. However, there were still people living here. Yimo's spirit sense landed in this ancestral hall. It was very big, but there were nearly 200 people in here and tens of people outside. Half of them were gray-robed, and the other half Yimo felt was hidden sect ancient martial artists. Yimo couldn't hear them talk, but he could tell the atmosphere wasn't good. Yimo took back his spirit sense and planned to go there. These people might be the culprits for annihilating the hidden sections. "Big brother, that uncle told me to give this to you." The nurse quickly came up and took out a card. Yimo waved his hand. "Thanks for taking care of Ani Mu. You can have the card." Yimo turned and disappeared at the door of the hospital. Money was useless to him. If he needed money, he can take out a golden brick at any time. Huh. The nurse didn't know what to do. Mang River was near the sea, but it wasn't very well developed. The people here were chaotic. It wasn't as bad as Flowing Snake, but not that much better either. Mang River was near the sea, but it wasn't very well developed. The people here were chaotic. It wasn't as bad as Flowing Snake, but not that much better either. Xieyang Town belonged to Mang River, but it was at the border. This town was nearly 200 kilometers from Mang River, and because of transportation issues, this town was excluded from development. Amidst the ancestral hall, a short-figured man suddenly roared, "Wang Lingfa, are you going to keep us all here if we don't agree to you?" "Gu Yanghe, what do you mean? I've already annihilated the Gourd Cove and Jiuming Academy. We South Mountain Wang family is the third biggest sect in the hidden sections. For this, we exposed ourselves to take leadership just to protect the hidden sections. Otherwise, it would be difficult for us to even remain." A skinny man in his 50s sneered. "Then sect leader Wang, who do you think is attacking so many of our hidden sects and using such bloody means?" a middle-aged woman said. Wang Lingfa said slowly, "I think everyone knows who annihilated Gourd Cove. It's Luoyu City Yimo, and then he made Dian Songseal sect. Now that this is happening again, do we really need to guess?" The woman sneered, "Sect leader Wang, I think it's because Yimo killed your brother and didn't leave a single person of the Wang family at Broken Top Mountain, and that's why you hate him so much." Wang Lingfa said hatefully, "That's right. That Yimo has great enmity with my Wang family, how can I let him go? But now, this bastard is this crazy. He wants to annihilate us hidden sects. Thus we Wang family need to stand out." Jiu Yanghe was quite close to Yimo and approved of Yimo's character at the hidden sect tournament. Hearing the undermining words against Yimo, he helped Yimo again. "Sect leader Wang, I was there when it happened. I won't talk about who's right and who's wrong." Yimo went to the small world through the teleportation formation. Everyone knows this, but sect leader Wang still wants to say that Yimo did it. Is this because of the conflict between you two? Wang Lengfa immediately reproached, did you see with your own eyes that Yimo went to the small world? I know Yimo helped you before, and you can help him make excuses, but please don't put the fate of the hidden sects at risk. Plus, who else other than Yimo can annihilate so many hidden sects in such a short few months? Oh, then what do you mean sect leader Wang? Another middle-aged man got up and asked coldly. Wang Lengfa said many hidden sects were tricked to go to Luoyu City by Yimo, and now the remaining hidden sects were attacked. I think we should join up to against Yimo, including the hidden sects that went to Luoyu. Attack Yimo? The middle-aged man sneered. Yimo represents Luoyu City. Luoyu is just a city, but it's more powerful than some countries? Sect leader Wang, your ambitions are really great. Wang Lengfa also sneered, of course it's not enough with just us, but we can also join up with other people. Large amounts of hidden sect masters left through the teleportation formation to the small world. We have more than 90% of the hidden sect masters gathered here. Plus, we're not fighting against the entire Luoyu. Yimo representing Luoyu is the past. Now, Luoyu is a democratic city. I just want the hidden sects to have a place to survive. Yimo annihilated so many of our hidden sects. Is it wrong to ask for a place to stay in Luoyu? The middle-aged man didn't fear Wang Lengfa at all and yelled, Wang Lengfa, don't think of everyone as idiots. Don't think we don't know that you annihilated Hong Martial Sect, Dian Song, and Jiuming Academy. If Yi Qianbei is still in Luo, would you dare to call for an attack against him? If Wang Yijian and Zheng Zhengxia and these Qianbais were still here, would you dare to be this cocky? Wang Lengfa took out a soft sword and pointed at the middle-aged man Zhang Hua. Yimo saved your life in the hidden sect tournament, and thus you can't even tell the difference between right and wrong. Now you dare to undermine the Wang family. No matter how powerful we are, how can we annihilate Dian Song and Jiuming Academy? Today, I'm going to experience the power of masters from the Guangyao Temple. Zhang Hua pulled out a thin blade from his back and said, when the teleportation formation was opened, your Wang family was still in sect seal. Of course you can preserve your power, but Wang Yijian and Zheng Zhengxia, these masters, had already left. It's no wonder that Jiuming Academy's power declined. Plus, Wang Lengfa, you conspired with those gray-robed people. Don't take everyone as idiots. Then, Zhang Hua flicked his sword and said, Dao friends, I believe everyone knows in their heart that South Mountain Wang family conspired with foreigners to steal the resources of our hidden sects and also tries to trick us into fighting Luoyu City. Can we really fight the Luoyu City? I believe everyone knows that the Wang family just wants us to die. Although I don't know why they're doing this, but if we still don't wake up, we'll be devoured whole eventually. Dao friend Zhang Hua, those gray-robed people are the mortal world powers of the Wang family. What evidence do you have to say they're foreigners? An old man got up. So it's Will Sword sect leader Yu Tao. Sect leader Yu has been in solitary cultivation, so it's no wonder you don't know this. People have long noticed that Wang Lengfa conspired with those gray-robed people. Even Wu Dao Qianbei knows a little because an Earth-level primary stage ancient martial artist got up and said, that's right, a friend escaped from the Jiuming Academy, and he saw the killers were those gray-robed people. Now that I see these gray-robed people, I know we're trapped. Now it seems that not only did they conspire, but they're not afraid of exposing it at all, or they wouldn't let these gray-robed people come out into the public. Sect leader Wang, if we don't agree to you, we probably won't be able to leave here, right? Wang Lengfa sneered, you're right. Those who don't agree to me will disappear. I've been doing my best for the hidden sections. Then, Wang Lengfa took a step back and the two gray-robed men next to him raised their weapons. Two dark rays flew out extremely rapidly. It wasn't even able to be seen, much less blocked. Black level can dodge ordinary pistol bullets, and Earth level can dodge custom-made pistol bullets. But these two rays were many times faster than bullets. The shadow already reached Zhang Hua and the other Earth level's head. Zhang Hua, who was vigilant, raised his sword without hesitation, and in a clank, a small black line was flicked away, but that also made Zhang Hua take a step back. Meanwhile, the other Earth level's head was pierced in a stream of blood. The other ancient martial artists were all dazed. Now, everyone realized that what Zhang Hua said was real. There were about 50 gray-robed people and 30 from the Wang family. there was definitely more people outside. An Earth-level primary stage was easily killed. Zhanghua was Earth-level tertiary stage, but only barely stopped it. Who would dare to fight such power? Wang Lingfa sneered, those who wants to join up with us against Luo Yimo can stand on my side. Those who don't want to can go outside. A few people already walked over. More and more people went over as fighting with Wang Lingfa meant 90% death. Zhanghua suddenly laughed, I won't go with your Wang family. What can you do? Count me in two, Gu Yanghe said, and stood by Zhanghua. Count me in two, Gu Yanghe said, and stood by Zhanghua. Seeing so many people still hesitating, Wang Lingfa sneered, kill them. A few gray-robed men raised their weapons. Gu Yanghe and Zhanghua wanted to charge out of the hall, but as soon as they turned, they saw the entrance was filled with gray-robed people each having the same weapon. Zhanghua and Gu Yanghe's heart sunk. Thud thud. This was the familiar sound that killed the Earth level before. With this many sounds, it was obvious that Gu Yanghe and Zhanghua couldn't live at all. But after the sound, Gu Yanghe and Zhanghua were completely fine, but an extra person appeared here. Brother Yi. Yi Qianbei. City Lord Yi. Many people knew Yimo, but many didn't as well. Yimo was a judge for the Hidden Sect tournament before. Yimo, Wang Lingfa's eyes narrowed. That hatred was unable to be hidden. Thank you for saving me, Yi Qianbei. You've saved me twice already. Zhanghua said. Yimo also recognized this middle-aged man and nodded, not bad. It's only been this long and you reached Earth tertiary stage from yellow level. Haha. Brother Yi, do you still remember me? Gu Yanghe laughed. Yimo saluted with his fists, of course I do. You've improved quite a lot, Brother Gu. Gu Yanghe knew Yimo didn't say that his cultivation level increased, but his courage increased. His power almost didn't increase at all, but the way he did things changed a lot. Wang Lingfa shook. He just remembered that the bullets that shot towards the two were gone, and Yimo suddenly came. Could he catch those bullets? Ancient martial arts can be powerful to this extent? If Yimo was this powerful, how could he fight him? Didn't he go to the small world? How is he here? Wang Lingfa immediately got the conclusion that he must kill Yimo immediately, or everyone else here would fight against him. All of you attack. Kill this man. Wang Lingfa said. Thud thud. This time, it was much denser than before. These gray-robed people were well-trained, and some were even above yellow level, so as soon as Wang Lingfa ordered, they attacked at the same time. This was a new type of firearm. It was much more powerful than guns. Yimo didn't move. He just reached out his hand and looked at the green pea-sized things in his hand. They were black, but Yimo's spirit sense scanned that they had an explosive substance. If he didn't control it with his cultivation essence, these things wouldn't exploded already. Everyone saw Yimo look at this hand, and thus all turned to look at his hand. Immediately, they realized that Yimo's casual grab caught all those bullets shooting at him at that speed. What was this power? Zhanghua looked dazedly at the Yimo's hand. He took a step out wanting to block a few bullets for Yimo, but in such a short time, Yimo caught all of them. At this moment, Zhanghua felt dejected. He swore that he would reach Yimo's height one day, but when he saw Yimo again, he realized that the gap between them was getting bigger and bigger. Yimo sneered and flung the bullets in his hands out. Splurge. Another densely cluttered wave of sounds and bullets shot out from the head of those gray-robed men. Some bullets even exploded in their heads. When they fell down one by one, only then did the ancient martial artist realize that Yimo did this. They all took a cold breath in. Cultivating ancient martial arts to the extreme can be this powerful? Or was Yimo truly a great heaven? After what happened at the Jingming Academy, all the ancient martial artists realized that above Earth level was heaven level, and only surpassing that was truly great heaven. The ancestral hall was covered in blood, and some timid ancient martial artists were feeling nauseous. Yimo killed 70 people just then. The only gray-robed alive was the one next to Wang Lingfa. Even an idiot knew that Yimo intentionally left him. Wang Lingfa's face was pale and his back was drenched in sweat. Those few ancient martial artists who went to Wang Lingfa's side quietly came back to Yimo's side. Yimo didn't seem to see this and looked coldly at Wang Lingfa. You're from Su Mountain Wang family? I killed Wang Linchan and a few people from his family, and I heard that the Wang family was going to seal mountain for 50 years. How long has it been and you guys popped out again? Yimo didn't intend to ask Wang Lingfa properly. His power rose. All the ancient martial artists here couldn't even breath, much less Wang Lingfa, who was targeted by Yimo. However, Yimo didn't even use 1/10,000th of his real power. Tell me your purpose. Who are these gray-robed people? Yimo asked plainly. Wang Lingfa didn't want to talk, but he found he couldn't resist at all. I only know a little about those gray-robed people. They come from a big organization and have powerful weapons and military might. Their sole purpose of cooperating with us is to move into Luoyu City with the hidden sections. Yimo sneered. If Luoyu City was so easily taken over, it wouldn't need to exist. Even though he and Yixing left, it wouldn't be so easily taken over. I rejected at first, Bose. I know that Luoyu City can't be conquered, so I didn't agree to their request. Later, I realized that they weren't going to attack Luoyu City. They don't even want to have much contact with Luoyu government. Wang Lingfa said. Yimo frowned but asked coldly, then what do they want to do? I only know it's a type or. Our Wang family is responsible for gathering the power of the hidden sects and use pressure or some other way to make the Luoyu government give the forest outside the city as the hidden sect grounds. Then we are to give these grounds to them, Wang Lingfa said. Even he felt something was wrong, but he couldn't reject. I only know it's a type or. Our Wang family is responsible for gathering the power of the hidden sects and use pressure or some other way to make the Luoyu government give the forest outside the city as the hidden sect grounds. Then we are to give these grounds to them, Wang Lingfa said. Even he felt something was wrong, but he couldn't reject. Then what did they give the Wang family? Yimo's tone grew cold. Wang Lingfa shivered and suddenly spat a mouthful of blood. Yimo's force was too powerful, but he answered they would get revenge for the Wang family and then combine the entire hidden sect so the Wang family controls all the resources. Hearing this, everyone was furious. Wang Lingfa woke up due to this fury, but he immediately knew he uncontrollably spilled all the top secrets. There was despair in his eyes, and before Yimo asked again, he pulled out his sword and sliced across his neck. Yimo didn't stop this. He grabbed that gray-robed man with cultivation essence giant hand and searched his soul. Moments later, he dumped him and said to Zhanghua and Gu Yanghe, I'm going. If you guys want to go to Luoyu, Luoyu will welcome you. The rest of the Wang family people wanted to leave the ancestral hall, but now that the gray-robed people were dead, how could the other ancient martial artists let them go? An hour later, a private island near the North Pacific suddenly exploded and was obliterated into nothing. No one knew the cause of the explosion, but no one on the island lived. Of course Yimo did this. Only the U.S. knew that Luoyu had a special ore. This must be the joint work of the U.S. and some other people. Yimo just set up a formation and detonated it there. This way of annihilation was quicker and more satisfying. Returning to Ninghai, Yimo saw that Muin and Su Mei were still talking. He didn't go over immediately. He reached out his spirit sense, wanting to see if Yunbing was still in Ninghai. And Ting Ting should be a girl now after all these years. But after searching many times, Yimo didn't find Yunbing with his spirit sense. He reached his spirit sense to Beijing and saw Zhuaigua and Wang Ying. Yimo recognized those people whom he had only seen a few times, but he didn't see Yunbing and Ting Ting. Yimo suddenly felt annoyed. Yimo was shook. He didn't know why he had such emotions, but after he calmed down, he found that he was looking forward to seeing the two. Yimo shook his head. He really wanted to scan his spirit sense over the entire earth now to see if Yunbing was here and Sister Yen. But Yimo resisted the urge. His spirit sense was powerful, but Earth was arid in spirit chi. It would take at least half a day to do that. It was also taxing on his spirit sense. Even if he was to do that, he would need to get back to Luoyu City first. The business at Ninghai was over, and after he got the fishtails and visited the people at Luoyu, he would leave. Yimo stood for a moment and decided to go see Wang Ying at Beijing and give her 2 pills. Wang Ying helped him quite a lot of Ninghai. Wang Ying was drinking at a bar with a colleague, but she looked up and saw Yimo. She got up in shock. Yimo? No, you're Yimo's son? Yimo laughed. Wang Ying, I came to Beijing to visit you. You're really Yimo? Wang Ying said joyfully. She didn't care that Emo was a man and just hugged him. Emo, I really didn't expect to be able to see you after all these years. What immortal pill did you eat? Why didn't you change at all? But I see you're in a good mood. You've gotten over that breakup, right? Wang Ying said to the female colleague next to her, "You, my old schoolmate, is here. I can't drink with you tonight. I need to stay with him. I might even need to stay with him for the night." The female colleague got up and said, "Slow down. You still need to work tomorrow. Don't get stuck in bed. See you tomorrow." Emo was speechless. Wang Ying didn't change at all. He also felt warm at heart. He felt Wang Ying's lifestyle was the happiest. "Yemo's, let's come to my place." Wang Ying grabbed Yemo. She felt very safe with Yemo. Yemo didn't plan to go back with her. He just wanted to come see her. He shook his head. "I just happened to walk past here and saw you drinking, so I came to say hello. I'm leaving Beijing tonight, and I don't know when I can come back again. You've helped me before in Ninghai, so I came to thank you." Wang Ying snorted. "You've thanked me a few times already. You must come tonight. Those old friends are all in hiding, and now I've finally caught one today. How can I let you go? Don't be scared, I won't eat you. Of course I'm not scared of you eating me. Look." Wang Ying hugged Emo and rubbed. "I'm going to take advantage of a young handsome man." But Wang Ying suddenly stopped and subconsciously looked down and called, "Emo, you're okay now? When did this happen?" Emo was awkward. He didn't have any mental preparation for this. He knew Wang Ying was just like this, but she didn't really think like that in her heart. Wang Ying felt happy. "How about I go find a way to contact Qingxue and ask for you?" He took out 2 pills for her. "Wang Ying, I got some good pills that can preserve your beauty. You can eat it when you like." Wang Ying took it and put it in her bag before calling to the waiter, "Bring 2 jugs of beer." Then she laughed at herself. "I'm already old. I don't need to keep my looks. So what if I keep it?" He saw that I was getting old, so he divorced me and found a younger and prettier one. Emo sighed and silently listened to her talk until she was drunk. Then he found her address based on her identity card and sent her home. Emo left behind a purple card and a letter explaining who he was. He didn't need the money in this card, so he might as well give it to Wang Ying. When Emo came to Ninghai again, he saw that Ning Siswang was in her dorms. Thus, Emo went directly to Ninghai Uni. Ning Siswang sat in her dorm dazing. The night Emo left, she realized that she didn't leave her brother-in-law's number nor give him hers. How would brother-in-law find her? Ning Siswang sat in her dorm dazing. The night Emo left, she realized that she didn't leave her brother-in-law's number nor give him hers. How would brother-in-law find her? "Sister Shuang, didn't you say you were going on a holiday with a friend? Why do you look so lost coming back? Are you in love and you lost that love?" a chubby girl asked. The other girl immediately answered, "Siswang losing love? How can you even imagine? Which idiot would break up with Siswang? Plus, the handsome guys wanting to chase Siswang can line up all the way around the school." Ning Siswang regained her senses and said, "Don't bullshit. Good things happened yesterday indeed. Where is Ming? Let's go have a big meal. I will treat." "Really, Sister Shuang, thank you. I'll call Ming back immediately." The chubby girl shrieked and was about to make a call. Ning Siswang was indeed happy. She hasn't told her parents that Emo was back as she wanted to go back with him to give them a surprise. As soon as Emo came to the door, he heard that Ning Siswang was going to treat people, and he quickly knocked on the door. "Ming is back. I haven't even called yet. She must have heard that there's food." The chubby girl opened the door and saw Emo. "Who are you? How did you come up here?" The chubby girl looked dazedly at Emo, not understanding how a guy came to the female dorms. The female dorms were under strict management, and no guys were allowed up here. "I'm here to find Ning Siswang," Emo said politely, and "Don't go in, brother-in-law. I was thinking about how to let you know my contact details, but you're this powerful and found me." Ning Siswang rushed over in joy and pulled Emo inside. What she didn't expect was that another girl in the corridor saw this and seemed surprised, but she quickly left. Moments later, she came to another dorm and charged in. "Yu Ping, what are you doing?" The girl wearing black glasses said unhappily. Yu Ping rushed to another girl next to the mirror saying, "Chu Dan, I saw." Chu Dan also frowned and turned around, showing an extremely pretty face. In terms of looks, she was on par with Ning Siswang and seemed more feminine. Ning Siswang's body was not grown out yet, But Chu Dan was very curvaceous. Why Yuping, what did you see? Yuping calmed herself down first and said, Chu Dan, I saw a man being dragged into Ning Xishuang's dorm by her. Chu Dan immediately threw down her makeup pin and said in surprise and joy, Yuping, are you serious? Of course. Yuping said. Yuping, hurry up and call the school management and the Meimei school news. Tell them to bring cameras immediately. Chu Dan said desperately. Then, Chu Dan's beautiful face showed a smile, little slut. Can't keep your pants on, how dare you fight with me? Brother-in-law, you're really powerful. As soon as I came back, you're back. How did you find me? Who did you ask? Ning Xishuang couldn't control her joy. Yimo smiled but didn't say anything. Wow, Sister Shuang, you're not nice. You found a boyfriend but you're hiding it from us. Brother-in-law, so cringe, but I like this title. If I find a boyfriend, I'll call him brother-in-law too. Ha ha ha. The chubby girl joked. But immediately she thought about the big meal. Sister Shuang, you've got good eyes, this handsome guy. You didn't forget about the big meal later, right? All you know is eat. Look at how chubby you are. Another girl said. Ning Xishuang quickly said to her two dormmates, don't misunderstand. This is really my brother-in-law. Brother-in-law, they're my dormmates. The chubby one is Li Yin, and this one is Yi Shaoshan. Yiming isn't back yet. He really is your brother-in-law? Yi Shaoshan asked in shock. Yes. Ning Xishuang said affirmatively. Li Yin was confused too. Ning Xishuang's sister has been out for so many years. Even if her brother-in-law came back, he can't be this young. Seeing that they were going to chat non-stop, Yimo quickly said, Xishuan, I'm going back soon. Just give me that key. Don't be in such a rush. Your sister Shuang's brother-in-law, you finally came. Of course you need to treat us to dinner. We've been exhausting our brains helping Sister Shuang recently. Li Yin said. Seeing this, Yimo knew he couldn't get away from this, so he nodded. In that case, let's go eat. Xishuang remembered to bring the key. Just at this moment, Yi Shaoshan looked at her phone and quickly said, Xishuang, the student management department people are here and the school news department. We should quickly go. It must be that Chu Dan. She saw you bring your brother-in-law and wants to look for trouble. Ning Xishuang said in contempt, so what if they're here? I'm not scared. So what if my brother-in-law is here? I don't have about being an image representative. Yimo's spirit sense scanned two groups of people going up the stairs coming towards their direction and asked, what's image representative? Li Yin immediately said, being the image representative for Ning Hai. There's only 2 spots and one of them is in our school. Your identity and status will. The dorm doors were opened and more than 10 people were hustled towards with all sorts of flashlights. Ning Xishuang's hands were still clutching Yimo's arm, and these were all caught by the cameras. But Yimo didn't care at all. He simply used a cultivation essence barrier and their cameras would be empty. But Li Yan's face changed. She didn't expect the people came this fast. With this news, Ning Xishuang's image was ruined. But before she could talk, a few students with badges came in. Ning Xishuang, you've broken the rule of bringing a male into the female dorms. Please come with us to the student management center. The student saw Yimo, and his eyes flashed with jealousy. Can't my family come to visit me? Since when did the school rules say that family members aren't allowed to visit? Ning Xishuang said in contempt. Another student argued, we'll know if he's your family member after going to the student management center. Even if he is family, males aren't allowed in the female dorms. Brother-in-law. Ning Xishuang looked at Yimo unhappily. Yimo smiled, then don't bother studying here. Come back with me? Huh. Yimo's words shocked everyone here. Ning Hai Uni was one of the 3 most famous universities in the country. Countless people wanted to come in, and yet Ning Xishuang's boyfriend just said don't study here. Ning Xishuang immediately rejoiced and hugged Yimo's arm even tighter, but my parents want me to study here. What do I do? How could Yimo not know what she wanted? He smiled. I'll speak with them about this. Xishuang, are you really quitting because of this? Li Yin asked stutterly. Xishuang, are you really quitting because of this? Li Yin asked stutterly. Yeah, my brother-in-law said so. What do I need to be afraid of? Let's go. Call Ming and we'll go get a big meal. Ning Xishuang joyfully. She didn't understand why her parents insisted on her studying here when there were so many good schools in Luoyu. Remember to pack your things and bring that key? Yemo reminded again. That key was very important to him. His spirit sense scanned Duanheng ranges and found it to be surrounded by all sorts of buildings. Even if he could open the formation, it would cause a huge commotion. Plus, Yemo didn't have any faith in starting that formation as the formation heart has been dug up. Ning Siswang just put a few simple things in her bag and said, "Don't worry, I've picked up the key already. There's nothing else here, let's go." Then Ning Siswang looked slyly at the students and said, "Okay, I'm not a student of Ninghai University now. The Student Management Center has no right to manage me." The students, they're dazed, not being able to say a word. Ning Siswang held Yemo's hand and waltzed out of the door and said to Li Yin, "When Yiming comes back, I'll call you. We'll have a big dinner together." The tall man saw Yemo and Ning Siswang go downstairs and quickly said, "That man has violated our school rules and went into our school's female dorms. He must be recorded." Then, he took a step forward to grab Yemo, but as soon as he got to the stairs, he fell down. The stairs were very wide, but he eerily rolled a few times before spitting out a few teeth. Then, he was paralyzed on the stairs. Everyone who saw this were shook. The stairs were so wide and smooth, and yet he fell like that. The rest of the people couldn't care about Yemo and Ning Siswang. They quickly helped the student up and sent him to the hospital. Ning Siswang laughed and felt very satisfied. Yemo shook his head and sped out of the dorms, coming into a small road outside the school. "Brother-in-law, wait for me." Ning Siswang rushed up and grabbed Yemo's arm. "Io, brother-in-law, such intimacy. I heard you're quitting uni." Ning Siswang, "I even feel a little guilty." Chu Dan spun out. "I thought you were going to the Student Management Center and specially walked around BTU. I still saw you." Sigh. Chu Dan sighed. Yemo frowned but didn't talk. Ning Siswang's tone suddenly went cold. "Chu Dan, don't think that I don't know you're behind this, but I never even cared about the image representative. Plus, I quit when I want to quit. Can you do that? You can only plot against people behind their backs. What are you?" Yemo wanted to laugh. He could tell that Ning Siswang cared about it, but after all that happened, she knew she had no hope for it. Chu Dan looked at Ning Siswang and sneered, "So what if I reported you?" Dropping out of school first year in uni, what can you do? At most there would be an extra. Ning Siswang's face burst red. "I'm going back with my brother-in-law. What does that have to do with you? I'm not even going to stay here." "Of course I know you're not going to stay here. Brother-in-law, what a nice name. After I graduate, I need to learn with you." Chu Dan said in contempt. "What can you do with your brother-in-law?" Little did Ning Siswang know that Chu Dan was cursing her for being lucky enough to find a man this handsome, but she would never say that. Ning Siswang was always better than her, and that made extremely uncomfortable. Yemo could tell that Ning Siswang was no match for Chu Dan in an argument, so he pulled her, signaling her to stop talking. Then he said, "Siswang is going to cultivate to be an immortal with me. Is that okay?" "Brother-in-law." Ning Siswang was speechless. Why not leave if we can't beat her in the argument? Why talk about some immortal cultivation? She would have no face to come back. Chu Dan dazed and suddenly laughed. She realized she didn't envy Ning Siswang anymore. Her boyfriend was good-looking, but he was an idiot. He was nothing compared to her cunning boyfriend. At this instant, she felt very satisfied. She finally beat Ning Siswang. "Let's go." Yemo suddenly felt annoyed and took Ning Siswang. Cloud appeared beneath his feet, and they floated into the sky on this cloud in front of Chu Dan, soon disappearing. Chu Dan's laughter suddenly stopped. She looked dazedly at Yemo and Ning Siswang and suddenly rubbed her eyes and patted her head. After a long while, she screamed, "Flying! It's really flying!" "Chu Dan, what happened to you?" Two girls heard Chu Dan scream and came over. Chu Dan pointed hysterically at the direction where Yemo and Ning Siswang disappeared. Yuping frowned. "Chu Dan, what happened to you? What is flying?" "Ning Siswang, she's quitting university." "Regardless, you've succeeded. What are you worrying about?" Chu Dan suddenly said to Yuping and Mimi, "Did you see Ning Siswang? And the guy next to her? Did you see that they flew away?" Dan, you're too good at acting. Your expression seems so real." Another girl patted her chest and nodded. "Yes, Ning Siswang flew away. You saw it too, right?" Chu Dan grabbed this girl. The girl slapped Chu Dan's hands. Okay, we're about to have dinner. Everyone knows that Ning Siswang was kicked flying by you. Chu Dan calmed down and was certain she didn't see wrong. She knew that no one would ever believe her. Chu Dan, I feel you're a bit strange. You Ping noticed something? Chu Dan realized her actions were too strange before. She forced a smile despite the shock in her heart. I was just joking, haha. Can't you take a joke? Yu Ping sighed. Dan, you should go to performing arts. It's such a waste of your talent. You don't know how real your act was before. Okay, today's incident let Dan win. Let's go have dinner and celebrate. Mei said. Chu Dan said, not tonight. Let's do tomorrow. I'm a bit tired tonight, I want to sleep. Yimo intentionally flew in front of Chu Dan and even formed clouds with his cultivation essence. Before he left, he was going to set up level 9 formation at Luoyu anyways and help Qingshua's parents cultivate, so he might as well let Ning Siswang know this earlier. When Ning Siswang was taken into the sky above the clouds, she was completely dumbfounded. It's been so long and she hasn't recovered. She felt scared right now, not surprise. Yimo gave Ning Siswang a clear mind spell, and only then did she wake up. She grabbed Yimo's hand and asked nervously, brother-in-law, we're flying. Yimo gave Ning Siswang a clear mind spell, and only then did she wake up. She grabbed Yimo's hand and asked nervously, brother-in-law, we're flying? Yimo nodded. Yes, this is the cultivation I was talking about. Your sister isn't here so she can't come see you, but if you want to learn I can teach you. Of course I want to. Ning Siswang reacted and said in surprise and joy. She realized why her brother-in-law told her to quit. If she could cultivate, why would she go study? Chu Dan thought for an entire night in her dorm, and the next morning, she ran to Ning Siswang's dorm. Lian got up and saw it was Chu Dan and immediately looked unhappy. She said coldly, Chu Dan, Siswang was moved away because of you. What else do you want? Chu Dan had an apologetic face. I came to apologize to her. I regret what I did yesterday. Give her number to me. I will apologize to her personally. Hearing this, everyone in the dorm was dazed. Chu Dan had always been very dominant. It was absurd that she came to apologize. Lian reacted quickly. No need for apology. After we ate with Siswang and her brother-in-law, they probably left Ninghai. So you have Siswang's number, or do you know where her house is? Chu Dan asked hopefully. Lian was more vigilant. She shook her head. I had her number, but she doesn't use that phone anymore. She told me that if anyone called her, just let them know that she had already left. As for her house, I don't know. Huh. There was disappointment in Chu Dan's eyes, but she didn't fuss about it. She thanked Lian and left. After Chu Dan left, Lian said, do you think this Chu Dan isn't very normal? I won't believe someone like her would apologize. Would this woman be jealous of Ning Sishuang's boyfriend and want to steal him? Yiming asked. Yi Shaoshan crawled up and suddenly said, that might really be possible. Chu Dan isn't a good person, and she would never talk to us in such a low manner. Lian rolled her eyes. Siswang already said that it was her brother-in-law. PFTTT, Chu Dan didn't go back to her dorm, but instead called her father Chu Hang. Father, do you think there are immortals in this world? Chu Dan didn't like people being stronger than her, but she respected her father a lot. Chu Hang was just ready to go to his office and receive this strange call. Dan, why are you thinking of something this strange in the morning? There's a meeting at the company. I'm busy. Dad, just answer me. Are there people who are able to fly on clouds? Chu Dan interrupted. Chu Hang frowned but didn't reproach his daughter. You can't say it's impossible. Our Chu family ancestor seems to be involved in cultivation. Our Chu family dragon door disc is passed down from our ancestor. Chu Hang said, you only need to know it's possible. Focus your efforts on studying. It's not something you should be caring about now. Then Dad, you taught brother to meditate and practice Qigong. Is that passed down from ancestor? Yu Dan asked. Chu Dang agreed. You don't even want to learn those things, why are you asking now? That's right. It's passed down from our ancestor, but it's only some Qigong to strengthen the body. It's very different than ancient martial arts, and rarely do the people in our family get sick. We live long lives also due to this. If you're interested, I can teach you when I come back. Dad, if I told you I saw someone fly on the clouds yesterday, would you believe it? Chu Dan suddenly felt her Chu family wasn't ordinary. Blasphemy. I'm going to have a meeting. Don't think too much. It's going to affect your studies. We can talk at night. Chu Heng hung up. Chu Dan was dazed for a moment before saying to herself, I knew you guys wouldn't believe it. At this moment, Yimo got the last two fishtails and was with Muin and Ning Siswang. Muin saw Yimo land in the backyard from the sky with Ning Siswang and completely believed Yimo's words. She really didn't expect there was something such as cultivation in this world. But after knowing that her daughter was no longer on Earth but on Luoyu continent, she couldn't control her longing for her daughter. However, Ning Siswang was getting more and more excited. Stars were about to pop out of her eyes. Looking at the two fishtails, Yimo was thankful to Ning Shuyan. If these two fishtails were lost, it wouldn't be easy to find them even with his spirit sense. Yimo, is it hard to come back after we go to Luoyu City this time? Muin asked. Yimo shook his head. After going to Luoyu City, I will be leaving. It's very hard for me to come back, but if you want to go to Ninghai, you can go at any time. However, I suggest not to come back too often. You need to have a peaceful heart for cultivation. Otherwise, your progress won't be much. Who knows when will be the next time I can come back with Jingwen and them? Maybe 10 years, or maybe 100 years. Yimo didn't say that if he ascended into the immortal ascension, it would be even harder to come back to Earth. The dimension was much sturdier in the immortal realm than in the cultivation realm. Brother-in-law, didn't you fly back with me on a cloud? Why is it a flying boat now? Ning Siswang thought flying on the clouds was much cooler. Yimo was speechless. Using clouds is not practical. It's slow and wastes cultivation essence. Even though Yimo used a top-grade spirit artifact, they still reached back Luoyu City in a very short time. Although he had seen Luoyu City's prosperity in his spirit sense, when he truly saw it, Yimo was still excited. Although he didn't build everything, it was founded by him. Seeing Yimo come back, Ning Zhongfei and Lan Yu's eyes turned red. They wanted to ask Ning Qingshue's whereabouts immediately, but they knew Yimo would tell them. Yimo spent more than half the day explaining to them what he said to Ning Siswang and Muin last night. The couple were disappointed that Qingxue wasn't back, but thinking that if they focused on cultivation, they might be able to see their daughter again, they forced themselves to calm down. Just when Yimo wanted to go see Huang Yinian and them, Lan Yu asked, Yimo, did you see Qi Wanqing there? Yimo immediately remembered and felt guilty. She wasn't his wife, but she went with Jingwen and them to Luoyu and disappeared. But he never thought of visiting her parents. Her parents came to Luoyu a few times asking if you were back. Eventually, they just moved to Luoyu City waiting for you and retiring here, Ning Zhongfei said. Yimo scanned his spirit sense out and soon saw a row of small houses in which Tang Chimping lived. Her face looked very similar to Qi Wanqing, and Yimo guessed she was Qi Wanqing's mother. It should be her father next to Tang Qianping. Yimo frowned. Why are they living on the outskirts? Ning Zhongfei sighed. What's going on? Yimo asked. He had a good impression of Qi Wanqing, and she was lost in Luoyu continent due to him. He should stand up for Qi Wanqing's parents. What's going on? Yimo asked. He had a good impression of Qi Wanqing, and she was lost in Luoyu continent due to him. He should stand up for Qi Wanqing's parents. Lan Yu looked at Yimo's face and knew he thought that what happened with the Dongfang family happened again. Lan Yu quickly said, her parents were very worried that Qi Wanqing left. After her father retired, he didn't stay in the military and moved to Luoyu City. Luoyu City has become the world's prettiest city under the work of City Lord Huang and them. Muin nodded. Yes, in order to find Jiangwen, I came here a few times. I heard that those who live in Luoyu City have better health on average. Lan Yu nodded. But it's a pity, there are too many people wanting to come to Luoyu City. Because of this, Luoyu City's land prices are soaring higher and higher. It's not something ordinary people can afford. Wanqing's parents have some savings, but they can't afford a better place. Yimo frowned and asked, Wanqing's mother has a big company and their family is wealthy. How can they not afford to live better? Lan Yu sighed. After Wan Qing went missing, her mother didn't have the mind to run her company and it soon started losing money. Soon, it was taken over by another company. They didn't care about the company profits, so they just came to Luoyu City. Just when Yimo wanted to talk, his spirit sense scanned that at the center of Luoyu City, Huang Yinian and them were having a meeting. There was a man in his 30s sitting next to Huang Yinyang. He slammed the table, seeming very angry. But neither Huang Yinian nor Yu Miaodan and them said anything. Instead, they listened to the man yell at them. Yimo was immediately unhappy. Regardless if Huang Yinian was right or wrong, he was the city lord. How dare someone slam the table in front of him? This was too absurd. Huang Yinian led Luoyu City to such prosperity. How could he allow such person to be in the city lord estate meeting? Yimo got up and said to Lan Yu, "Ani, I'm going to the city lord estate once. I want you to bring Wanqing's parents to live at Luoyu Lake too. It's pretty big after all. Of course, I want you to tell them what I told you. If they want to see Wanqing again, they have to cultivate at Luoyu Lake." Then, Yimo took out 3 bottles of pills and gave them to Mu and Ani. Mu, "You've had these pills already, just give everyone one." Lan Yu and them hadn't seen these pills, but they knew they were substantial. Muan was a prime example. They hadn't seen her for so long, and yet she seemed so young. Clearly this wasn't normal. "Go do what you need to do. I will go check on Wanqing's parents with Dongfei soon," Lan Yu quickly said. "City Lord Huang, I don't get why not." You've seen the development of Luoyu City in recent years. I'm not wrong. If we change that to be the world trade and economic center, it would boost Luoyu's economy again. The middle-aged man slammed his hand. Huang Yinian waited till the man was done and said, "If I say no, then no. Other places are fine but not there. Suozhen, I know Luoyu's development is inseparable with your planning, but that is non-negotiable." Huang Yinian called him by his full name. Clearly City Lord Huang was unhappy too. Suozhen slammed the table again and got up in agitation. He was almost yelling, "City Lord Huang, why is your brain as hard as wood? Luoyu Lake is taking up such a huge place, and only the Ning Zhongfei couple are living there. This is a waste." And Luoyu Lake's owner Yimo didn't do any procedures. One could say that land belongs to the government. We're not saying they can't live here, but we're just telling them to change places and make Luoyu Lake the economic center. Look at all these economic policies I've made. Which one was wrong? Yu Miaodan suddenly got up and said, "Suozhen, if you dare to call city lords' names straight out like that, I will remove you from the list of future city lords. No one who doesn't respect the city lord deserves to become the city lord. City lord is being polite, saying that Luoyu belongs to everyone, but Luoyu City is City Lord Yimo's city. Agree or not, that's the reality." Suozhen looked calmly at Yu Miaodan and said, "Does Vice City Lord you think this is a fascist time? You can remove my name however you like? One-person city? Luoyu is now a democratic city. No one dares to call it one-person city." Huang Yinian got up. "I agree with Vice City Lord Yu on this. Luoyu City is one-person city, Yimo's city. No one can change that. Those who agree with us can stand up, those who don't can remain seated." Lu Lin, Guo Qi, Li Sandao, Shi Xie, and Fang Wei got up without hesitation. Xin Xianqian also got up after a slight hesitation. There were more than 10 people in here, and more than half got up. Suozhen looked at Xin Xianqian with annoyance. "Director Xin, do you think I'm wrong? During these years, which of my policies didn't encourage the development of Luoyu? Which one was of selfish intent?" Xin Xianqian's face changed, and after a while she said, "Vice City Lord Suo, you're right, and your contribution to Luoyu City these years are undeniable, but I really don't get why you must take that Luoyu Lake. I've said it many times. It's the place that can allow Luoyu to soar into the skies," Suozhen said unhappily. Xin Xianqian shook her head. "I don't really mean it when I say I don't get it. Due to your contribution to Luoyu, knowing that City Lord Huang and you won't agree, I haven't said anything. But every meeting, you're trying to force this matter. Oh, then tell me, Director Shan. Everyone sees how wholeheartedly I worked for Luoyu City. There's nothing I can say." Suozhen calmed down. Xin Xianqian continued, "If it was something else I would agree, but I owe Brother Yi a great deal. Without him, there wouldn't be me today. I love business, But after all these years, I've already realized my dream. I stay here not for my ideals, but to genuinely help Brother Ye's Luoyu city. Xin Xianqian looked coldly at Sua Zhen. Do you know why I didn't stand up immediately? It's because I really don't want you to have conflict with everyone. Everyone knows Vice City Lord Sua's capabilities, and this is the main reason City Lord Huang lets you off. And here, no one is more suited to be the next City Lord besides you, but you're doubting who Luoyu City belongs to. I'll tell you right now, Luoyu City is Brother Ye's no matter the time. I know you might not work wholeheartedly for Luoyu City after this, but this is reality. Sua Zhen grunted. No matter what you say, my passion for Luoyu City won't be lesser than any of you. No matter what opinions you have of me, I will still work for Luoyu City. Everyone isn't calm now. I suggest to end the meeting and discuss it next time. Xin Xianqian shook her head. Since I chose to speak out today, I don't intend to discuss it next time. I know what you want. You indeed don't intend to harm Luoyu City, but you're too selfish. Sua Zhen was about to say something, but Xin Xianqian waved her hand. Don't get agitated. Let me finish. I'm saying you're selfish because of Luoyu Lake. Brother Yi chose that place himself. It's the best place in Luoyu City. It's not just a place anymore. It's a symbolism of Luoyu's creator. The longer the time passes, the more the citizens of Luoyu City will respect it, and you want to take it first because that's the best place, but more importantly, your ambitions are too great. You want to replace Brother Yi, and when the World Economic Center is built, people will gradually forget the founder of Luoyu, Yimo, and only remember the person who built this economic center, which would be you. Sua Zhen's face looked bad. This is a democratic world, not individual heroism. Director Xin, please don't say things like that. Xin Xianqian said calmly, you know you're definitely the next city lord, so you just want everyone to remember you. I am the next city lord, but... Sua Zhen grunted. Wrong, you're not the next city lord. A calm voice interrupted him. City Lord Yi. Everyone who stood up called out in surprise and joy. Yimo didn't change at all. Instead, he looked even younger. City Lord Yi. Everyone who stood up called out in surprise and joy. Yimo didn't change at all. Instead, he looked even younger. Huang Yinian was overjoyed. He didn't expect to be able to see Yimo again, as none of those who went to the small world could come back, but Yimo came back. Huang Yinian got off his seat without hesitation and said, City Lord Yi, sit here. No one felt strange that Huang Yinian moved aside, as Yimo was back. City Lord. Yimo? Sua Zhen called out in shock. Yimo ignored him and smiled. Sister Yu, Lu Lin, Guoqi, Li Sandao, Shi Xiu, Fang Wei, Director Qianqian. Long time no see. The heavy atmosphere in the meeting room became lightened. After Yimo sat down on Huang Yinian's seat and let everyone sit down, he said to Huang Yinian, City Lord Huang, thank you for leading Luoyu City to such prosperity. Sit beside me. Huang Yinian was overjoyed that Yimo approved of his work and sat down next to Yimo without hesitation. Seeing Yimo sit down in the City Lord's seat without hesitation, there was a sliver of discomfort in Sua Zhen's eyes, but he said nothing. Sua Zhen's discomfort was caught by Li Sandao. Li Sandao sneered. How dare he act like that in front of Yimo? Even powerful people like Qin Longtu and Dongfang family were annihilated clean by Yimo. There was blood everywhere in this meeting room, but Sua Zhen was too young and didn't see it. Sua Zhen wanted to remove Yimo's status in Luoyu City just because he made some contributions to Luoyu City. He was mad. Luckily, he didn't tell Yimo to leave like the Dongfang family, or no one would be able to save him. Yimo said, I've left Luoyu for more than 10 years, and Luoyu is looking so prosperous. Clearly, everyone here has worked hard. I thank you for that. Luoyu City is our city. We are willing to do all that. Sua Zhen said. How could everyone not know what Sua Zhen meant? He was implying that Luoyu isn't the Luoyu before. It has nothing to do with you. We're not doing this for you, but for Luoyu City. It was natural that capable people were cocky, but this guy dared to try take away Luoyu Lake. This touched Yimo's bottom line. He established Luoyu to build a peaceful environment, but it was important that Qingxue, Luoying, and them like this environment. Put straightforwardly, he built this place for his family and friends, not to maintain world peace and equality. He wasn't that noble. He didn't allow anyone to assault anyone, especially anyone to assault his family and friends. Huang Yinian heard this and immediately knew things weren't good. Sua Zhan was capable, but his words already angered Yimo, and so he quickly said, Luoyu City looks like this today mostly due to Director Qian and Vice City Lord Sua. Yi Imo nodded. I heard that Luoyu City land prices are very high. City Lord Yi, tell me the recent policies. Yimo wasn't going to intervene in politics and economy here, but since it involved Luoyu Lake, he wasn't going to go easy, yes. Huang Yinian sighed. He knew Yimo's character decently. He was old and didn't mind losing some face in front of young people for Luoyu. After all, when he retired, Luoyu would depend on these young people. But the founder was Yimo, and he wouldn't allow anyone to do that. Luoyu City's immigration policy was changed. It's arranged due to assets only those with certain financial power can move to Luoyu City. Those poor families can give their residence to wealthier people to live here. Huang Yinian said. Yimo immediately said coldly, from today on, Luoyu City will stop migration. As for those who forcefully make poorer families move out of Luoyu, kick them out of the city? Yes. Huang Yinian immediately nodded. Huang Yinian knew this would let Luoyu become wealthy rapidly, but it wasn't the best long-term plan. Sua Zhan's face was very bad, but he didn't say anything. He made this policy. Yimo scanned his spirit sense and saw ships loaded with weapons about to leave and immediately asked, why is Luoyu weapons being shipped out? Because our weapons are leading the world and many countries have ordered from us. If we sell weapons, we can earn large amounts of foreign income. Sua Zhan said. Who made this policy? Yimo asked. Sua Zhan immediately replied, I did. Those economic policies that allowed Luoyu to rise up shortly were all made by me. Yes, the reason Luoyu can have today is due to Vice City Lord Sua's economic plans. Due to this, he is the anointed next City Lord. Everyone agrees to this, and so does the people of Luoyu. Another man in his 30s got up and said. Seeing Yimo look at this person, Yu Miaodong quickly said, this is our new Luoyu commercial vice director, Luan Ming. He's the next commercial director. He graduated from Harvard University. Yimo said plainly, the next city lord will be Shi Xiao. The next commercial director will be decided by Xin Qianqian. Choose someone who came from Luoyu. As for Sua Zhan and Luan Ming, from today onwards won't have any duties in Luoyu City. City Lord Yi, you. Sua Zhan got up furiously, seeing Yimo kick him out. Luoyu is everyone's. I worked arduously for Luoyu for so many years. What right do you have to do this? You have no position in Luoyu right now, and left Luoyu for so many years. What right do you have to point fingers at Luoyu management? Luoyu belongs to everyone, not someone. You have no authority to do this. Yimo said coldly, I said Luoyu is everyone's, not you. Sua Zhan's face was green. Yimo meant that he didn't have the right to say Luoyu is everyone's. Yimo asked Sua Zhan's details. No one knew what Yimo meant, but only Lu Lin. Moments later, a girl came into the meeting room. Luoyu's security was on par with military bases. During their terms, Luan Ming and Sua Zhan spilled military secrets twice and commercial secrets 5 times, and used their means to launder few hundred million Luoyu dollars. The Luoyu Safety Department has decided to execute Sua Zhan, Luan Ming, Yu Jinshin, Bu Weizhong. On the day Su Zhan takes over as city lord and declare publicly their sins. During their terms, Luan Ming and Sua Zhan spilled military secrets twice and commercial secrets 5 times, and used their means to launder few hundred million Luoyu dollars. The Luoyu Safety Department has decided to execute Sua Zhan, Luan Ming, Yu Jinshin, Bu Weizhong. On the day Sua Zhan takes over as city lord and declare publicly their sins. Then, the girl bowed and exited the meeting room. The meeting room fell in tense silence. Yimo sneered. He could easily make Sua Zhan say what he has done, but he wouldn't be the one managing Luoyu later. Doing this had greater effect on fearing those with bad intentions. After all, the old people would retire and Luoyu needed fresh blood. After the Dongfang family incident, Yimo was vigilant. He anointed Lu Lin, and she didn't disappoint him. Although she didn't take any actions, The investigation was very clear. Yu Miaodong and Huang Yini inside. After what happened last time, there was no way Yimo would let the same thing happen again. It was indeed so. Pity that Suozhan. He was indeed capable. The reason Luo Yu was so developed was indeed greatly due to Suozhan. So even though Suozhan made some small mistakes, Huang Yinian pretended he didn't see. But Huang Yinian didn't know he spilled military secrets. Take him away, Yimo said coldly. Suozhan yelled, Yimo, you have no right to do this to me. You're not a member of Luo Yu city government. This is dictatorship. This is desecration of human rights. But no matter how he yelled, he was taken away by Guoqi. Yimo shook his head. If this was Mou City, he would have threw a fireball over already, but this was Luo Yu City, and many of them would be managing Luo Yu City. If he did this, it wouldn't be good. If he was going to stay here for long term, it was fine, but he was going to leave soon. After that, Yimo didn't involve in the discussion of Luo Yu matters, but just stayed on the side and listened. He also suggested that Luo Yu shouldn't be selling weapons as their main source of income. Luo Yu Pharmaceuticals was the best economic source. No matter what Suozhan did, when Yimo came, all his means were rendered useless. Even if he took over Luo Yu Lake, what awaited him would be certain death. Luo Yu's Martial Academy not only protected the safety of high authorities in the city, but also protected Yimo's Luo Yu City. If Suozhan took over Luo Yu Lake and kicked Yimo's family away, how can the Martial Academy let him go? Suozhan was dominating politically in Luo Yu City, but he didn't know where Luo Yu's power truly laid. Even though Yimo said nothing, but him sitting here sped up the discussion. Shirxiu didn't have Suozhan's brains, but there wouldn't be a huge problem with him managing the city. Yimo didn't participate in the afternoon discussion and just went back to Luo Yu Lake. Qi Wanqing's parents were already here, and they clearly all ate his pills. Qi Wanqing's mother immediately asked Yimo where Qi Wanqing was, but Yimo didn't know where she was as well. He could only say that she was safe in North Far State with Little Wolf. In the next few days, Yimo taught them cultivation, and regardless if they had spirit root or not, Yimo gave them a 5-essence pill. During this time, Yimo also spent a week planting 3 extreme-grade spirit range below Luo Yu Lake and 2 below Luo Yu City. Then, he set up a level 9 attack formation, level 9 defense formation, and level 9 spirit gathering formation next to Luo Yu Lake. He also set up another level 9 attack and defense formation outside Luo Yu City. With this, even missiles wouldn't be able to get into Luo Yu, plus Luo Yu had its own anti-missile system. Luo Yu's spirit chi was so dense now that it could compare with South Peace State Pill City. Yimo didn't give the Jade card to controlling the formation to the City Lord Estate, but gave it to his father-in-law Ning Zhongfei. After that, Yimo was completely free. Although Ning Siswang wanted Yimo to take her around and fly, but seeing everyone was cultivating, she didn't want to be dropped behind, so she cultivated too. Yimo didn't piece together the yin-yang fish. Instead, he found a quiet place and searched for Yun Bing and Ting Ting with his spirit sense. If they weren't living well, Yimo would bring them over, but if they were, he wouldn't disturb them. He spent an entire morning and even left Luo Yu City just to cover all the countries on Earth, but Yimo was disappointed. He wasn't able to find them. Half a day had passed, and Yimo was very tired. He used a spirit recovery pill and rested for half a day before barely recovering his spirit sense. Although he knew Yun Bing wouldn't go back to Beijing Yun family, but he still decided to go there and ask after he pieced together the yin-yang fish. Yimo was level 9 Forgery Grandmaster and Formation Grandmaster. He really wanted to know what level Chu Jiu's forgery and formation skills were at to be able to create such a formation disc. Soon, the pieces were connected. Crack! The yin-yang fish had no spirit waves or power, but it closed together tightly. One could not tell that they were pieces just then. This wasn't it. The dull yin-yang fish turned very lustrous after rejoining together. Yimo took in a cold breath. He realized that this fish was a formation disc formation heart. He thought Fish Jump Through Dragon Gate was a one-way teleportation formation, but now it seemed he was wrong. He didn't think he would be able to make such a formation disc. In a restaurant outside the Ninghai Uni, Chu Dan's father Chu Heng's face kept changing. In a restaurant outside the Ninghai Uni, Chu Dan's father Chu Heng's face kept changing. Chu Dan sat opposite him, but didn't dare to talk. The reason Chu Heng came was because she had thought about things for a week and called him again. This time, Chu Dan said more certainly. She said she definitely saw Yimo fly and fly on clouds. He felt his daughter wasn't lying, but he was worried that something was wrong mentally with her, and that's why Chu Heng rushed to Ninghai. I really saw it. I was dumbfounded at the time, so I didn't capture it with my phone, Chu Dan said again. Chu Heng waved his hand. I know you're telling the truth. I checked your university's recording. There was no sign of Ning Siswang leaving. As for her brother-in-law, there was no footage of him going in or not. It was though he appeared out of nowhere and disappeared into nothing. Plus, the pictures your university's news department was also blurry. It was too much of a coincidence to say the cameras happened to break at that time. So, I know you're telling the truth. Then what do we do? Chu Dan's voice was desperate. Thinking that Ning Siswang dropped out of university to pursue cultivation, her heart was burning like fire. She couldn't bear that her opponent was on the path to immortality while she was fighting over an image representative. Chu Heng sighed, we have no way. We can't find the person taking Ning Siswang to cultivate, but even if we find him, what can we do? I really didn't expect there is such thing in the world. What does that Ning Siswang have? Why was that little girl chosen by the cultivator? Chu Dan asked desperately. Chu Heng knew his daughter better than anyone. He knew that her daughter was being jealous. He felt that she should wake up from this. If she was sunk into this, she perhaps would have no future. Thinking about this, Chu Heng said seriously, Dan, it's said that those cultivators need to balance yin and yang, and thus they're especially interested in virgin girls. So it might not be a bad thing that you didn't encounter him. If it's a powerful cultivator who wants to take you away, it's useless to even call the police. Chu Dan raised her lips but didn't argue. She clearly didn't agree to her father's words. As long as she could cultivate, she would be willing to do anything. She even cursed Yimo's eyes. What did Ning Siswang have? Her chest was that small and was a far cry compared to her. She still seemed like a baby? That cultivator must be blind to take this little girl. And Ning was playing with a jade in her boredom, but her eyes weren't focused on the jade. Long time no see, and Ning. Yimo walked in, and she didn't even notice. Seeing this, and Ning looked up and immediately recognized Yimo. She said in shock, You're Yimo? You're back? Yimo looked at Ning's necklace. After all these years, it was still the same. Yimo nodded. I just came back. Where's your grandpa? You came to find my grandpa? Ning subconsciously asked. I thought you came to find Jiqi. Yimo just remembered. How is Jiqi? Ning said dejectedly. She has been missing for more than a decade. Sister Yun brought Ting Ting to find you at Luoyu but met Ziki, who just came back. She said that you had left Luoyu City. Sister Yun was very disappointed and left with Ting Ting. Jiqi said she would send Sis Yun back, and they disappeared. You're saying Yun Bing came to Luoyu to find me? Yimo asked in shock. And Ning nodded. Yimo fell silent. Missing for more than a decade. Did they go to the teleportation formation at Duanhong Ranges too? A lot of people left Luoyu City to go to the teleportation formation too, including Eru, Zhangjiayin, Suiwehua, Fongnan, and so. Yun Bing came at that time. Who knows if she went in too? But that also meant that Yun Bing didn't go back to the Yun family, so he didn't need to go visit there. And Ning suddenly said, My grandpa passed away 3 years ago. Did you need something? Hearing this, Yimo sighed. On Earth, if you don't cultivate, so what if you live more than 100 years? You would still end up as Earth. Yimo asked, I traded the fisheye your grandpa gave you, and he also gave me a jade card. He said that Zhang Zhihui gave it to him. Do you know where Zhang Zhihui got it? And Ning shook her head. I don't know, I never asked Grandpa about these things. Yimo didn't have the mood to stay anymore and thanked her before turning to leave. And Ning said at this moment, City Lord Yi, when Sister Yun left, she said that if you came back, you can go to where she lived in Ninghai. She says she has something for you. Although she's gone, but I feel I need to tell you that. Yimo nodded and left the shop unhappily. After going back to Luoyu Lake, Yimo told Ning Qingshua's parents that he would be leaving Luoyu again. They didn't say anything. They knew that Yimo couldn't stay, and they couldn't leave with him. Perhaps one day when they reach a level of cultivation, they can leave with Yemo to visit their daughter in Mou City. Yemo had decided to visit Yunbing's palsy first, and then set up a few level 9 attack formation in the wilderness and attack the void. Then he would try to tear the dimension. If that didn't work, he would go see if he can repair the formation at Duanheng ranges. Leaving Luoyu, Yemo suddenly felt sad. He actually didn't know where his home was nor where he should go. He didn't fly high. Seagulls passed below his feet on the Indian Ocean. Yemo suddenly was shook. Why was he hesitating? He needed to get to Mou City. His wife and friends were all there. Realizing this, Yemo's heart opened up. He felt his understanding of state increased, and his domain was perfected more. Yemo howled and disappeared on Zisu in the sky. The worst thing for cultivators was hesitation. Luckily, he had been cultivating next to the bitter bamboo, or his mind would have been invaded by the heart demon. Ninghai, Yemo was planning to go to Yunbing's house, but his spirit sense scanned Ningxuan. She was still at Ninghai University. Thinking about this, Yemo relayed why she was here. She was probably here to find Ning Siswang. Ning Shuyan didn't seem to be in a good mood. She probably didn't find Ning Siswang and was sitting dazedly by the lake. Yemo had decided to tell her, but as soon as he walked into the forest, an extremely excited voice stopped him. "Brother-in-law, I found you again. Please don't fly away again. Whatever Siswang has, I have too. Mine is better than hers." That voice said shakily. It was Chu Dan. He didn't even need to think why she stopped him. Before Yemo could talk, Chu Dan suddenly pulled down her top and even half of her blue bra, showing 2 huge snow-white rabbits. Before Yemo could talk, Chu Dan suddenly pulled down her top and even half of her blue bra, showing 2 huge snow-white rabbits. The sturdy red points on the white rabbits were very vibrant. Even Yemo had to approve that her chest was extremely beautiful. Although Yemo could stop her from doing that, he didn't do it. What she did had nothing to do with him. Even if she was going to strip herself naked, it had nothing to do with me. Look, I won't be any worse than Ning Siswang. I'm a virgin, I definitely am. I promise I will listen to you, and I will do anything you tell me to. Chu Dan said as though fearing Yemo would fly away. Then she reached out her hand to grab his hand, as though wanting to let Yemo feel her chest. Yemo sneered. How could he let Chu Dan grab his hand? He didn't want to talk to her anymore, but as he was about to leave, Ning Shuyan ran over. Ning Shuyan saw Chu Dan with messy clothes and a worried face, and also saw Yemo sneering. She was shook. She really didn't understand why Yemo was doing this here. Before she could speak, a few other students saw this and also ran over. Ning Shuyan quickly helped Chu Dan pull up her clothes, covering her chest before pulling Yemo away. Yemo was looking for her anyways, so he didn't resist her pulling him away. When Chu Dan realized what was going on, Yemo and Ning Shuyan had turned a corner and disappeared into the trees. Ning Shuyan was very worried, harassing a female student in the school and tearing off her bra. If Yemo was caught, he would be sent to jail. Yemo had the capability to not go jail, but he was Luoyu City Lord. If news got out, he would be ashamed. She really didn't understand why Yemo would publicly do this to a girl. Plus, even if Yemo did something HWO, could he let other people see it? Yemo. Ning Shuyan's hands were shaky and her face was very bad. We should leave quickly. If other people see you do this, you're over. Yemo sighed and pulled away his hand. Don't worry. Seeing that Yemo wasn't worried at all, Ning Shuyan said more anxiously, it's all too easy to take photos now. We should leave quickly. If you really need it, even I'm fine. Don't do this to students here. Sishuang's parents care about their face. Yemo looked at Ning Shuyan strangely, not expecting her to do this. Ning Shuyan knew Yemo misunderstood her and quickly explained, I'm saying even if you do something to me, you can't do that to the students here, or not now. Ning Shuyan felt she was getting too desperate, so she stopped talking. She knew Yemo had understood her meaning. Yemo sighed. Compared to the Ning Shuyan a decade ago, this Ning Shuyan changed so much. Perhaps due to the fall of the Ning family, she learned a lot of things. Yemo waved his hand. Shuyan, don't worry. I'm not that desperate. It's a misunderstanding before. Emo scanned his spirit sense in and didn't take much time to find a dragon door disc contained in a huge jade box inside a safety keep in the main bedroom. Just that huge jade box was priceless. Emo saw the dragon door disc and knew it was the thing he was looking for. Emo realized this Chu Dan quite possibly was Chu Jiyu's descendant and Lin Yibin's Wanbei. Thinking about the loyal Lin Yibin, Emo was hesitating. If it was some ordinary person, he would take the dragon door disc and give some compensation. But Lin Yibin was his helpful assistant. He clearly can't agree to her being his disciple. But if he disagreed, he would feel guilty to Lin Yibin. He really didn't like this Chu Dan. Emo said to Chu Dan, "Go wait for me at the school gates. I'm busy, I'll go find you later." Emo said to Chu Dan, "Go wait for me at the school gates. I'm busy, I'll go find you later." Chu Dan showed her wits now and led immediately. She knew that if Emo was really going to leave, there was no point of her staying here. Then, Ning Xuyan asked in confusion, What is this? How is your company?" Emo asked casually. Ning Xuyan nodded. "I'm planning to give the Ning Family Corporation to Ning Yang for management. I'm going to move to Luoyu." Emo said casually, "Siswang has gone back to Luoyu. If you want to go to Luoyu, then go to Luoyu Lake to find Siswang. If you want to cultivate, then cultivate with Siswang. If you don't want to cultivate, settling in Luoyu is a good choice too." Ning Xuyan shook her head, clearly not interested in cultivation. Emo saw this and didn't say much. "I'm going." "What? Already?" Ning Xuyan subconsciously asked. "Yes, if you have anything you can ask Sishuang's father for help. Goodbye." Emo disappeared in front of her. Ning Xuyan stared dazedly at this scene, and after a long while, she sighed and walked towards the uni gates. Chu Dan stood in the middle of the school gates. Even though the security guards reminded her a few times, she didn't want to move to the side, fearing that Emo wouldn't see her. But she knew that it was impossible. She was more scared that Emo didn't take her seriously and forgot about it. Just when she was still nervous, she suddenly felt she was grabbed into the air. She was shook, but then she immediately rejoiced. She guessed that only that brother-in-law would have such heavenly means. Emo wasn't going to give up on her. He could easily take the dragon door disc, but he couldn't do that. Even stealing from an ordinary family was lowering his identity. Plus, Chu Dan was Lin Yibin's Wanbei. Chu Dan was standing on Emo's flying ship spirit artifact, and although in a better state than Ning Siswang, she was still shaking. Little did she know that Emo was also excited. He didn't think the dragon door disc was so easily obtained. He can easily leave Earth and head to Luoyu continent now. When Chu Dan calmed down, he asked plainly, "I do need that dragon door disc, but I won't take you in as a disciple. You can either choose to have eternal youth, or I can give you the cultivation resource and cultivation method, and you cultivate yourself." Huh. Chu Dan's joy cooled down by half. She already said she could do everything Ning Siswang was doing. Why didn't he want to take her in? "I can do everything Siswang can do. I can do it better than her." Chu Dan wanted to fight for it regardless. Emo's tone went cold. "I'll say it one more last time. Which one do you want?" Emo had decided that if Chu Dan was still going to pester him, he would just take the dragon door disc and take away both options. He approved of her attitude to cultivate at all costs, but he really didn't like her as a person. Her emotional quotient was much higher than Ning Siswang, and the second time Emo asked this, she knew there it was non-negotiable. She said without hesitation, "I want cultivation method and resource." She wants dumb. One clearly would preserve her youth if she achieved something in cultivation. Emo nodded. "Then go get your dragon door disc." "We're already here?" Chu Dan looked at the mansion in shock. This was clearly her house. How long has it been and they were here? Chu Hang came home with fatigue, but before he sat down, the maid said, Dan is back." "What?" Chu Hang asked in shock. He just came back from Ning Hai, and when he left his daughter was still at uni. How could she bet at home so quickly? How can things be this eerie? Maid asked in shock. "CEO, didn't you go to Ning Hai? I thought you came back with Dan. Dan brought back a friend, and they've been upstairs for 3 hours." "What friend?" Chu Hang asked nervously. "A very handsome young boy." Before she finished, Chu Hang already dashed upstairs. He knew his daughter was in a relationship and he didn't disapprove, but she was not allowed to bring him home. When he forced open his daughter's room, he remembered that the answer to how she was even here wasn't even solved. Thinking about this, he was cold. Dad, I gave the dragon door disc to someone else, Chu Dan said. Chu Hang was furious. He roared, "Are you crazy? That's passed down by our ancestor. Who took it? Tell me. I'm going to ask for it back again." Chu Dan put down a few jade bottles and said calmly, "It's that immortal I told you about. I met him again and he flew me back. He took the dragon door disc and gave me a bunch of cultivation resource. Dad, did I do things wrong? At least I can cultivate now." Chu Hang's fury dissipated and he calmed down. He already believed his daughter already. If she wasn't flown back, how could she come back so quickly? "Are you for real? Where is the cultivation method?" Chu Hang asked. Chu Dan pointed her at head. "That person is too powerful. He says I can't read jade slips, so he just inserted the cultivation method in my brain. It's as clear as if I'm reading a book. I was just looking at the chi increasing pill." Chu Hang took a cold breath in. "For real?" He suddenly thought of something and asked nervously, "Did he do anything to you such as—" Chu Dan sneered, "If that happened, it would be great. Dad, I thought you said he would take me as his disciple if I was willing to do anything for him, but he didn't even want to look at me. I really don't get why that Ning Siswang is better than me. Even though she's his disciple, I will surpass her with my own effort." Chu Hang took a cold breath in. He felt he was far from understanding his daughter. Yimo came to Yun Bing's place after taking the dragon door disc. There was a layer of dust on everything, and Yimo casually swiped them away. That time, he disabled Zheng Wenxiao and another man, and soon, so many years had passed. Yimo came into her room. The colors was still so simple, and a picture of her and Ting Ting hung on the wall. Yimo took the picture. He would keep it for memory. Suddenly, he saw a faint blue letter stuck behind the photo. Yimo opened it and saw, "If you came and still remember us, you can see the letter, Yun Bing." There was another line of small worlds. "When I was born, you weren't. When you were born, I'm already old. I regret not being born the same time as you and spend every day with you." Yimo looked at this and sighed. He couldn't repay her feelings. He couldn't even find her. Yimo put the picture and storage ring in his storage ring. When Yimo left Ninghai again, he knew that everything here would not be related to him anymore. He was leaving here. There was a lot of people waiting for him at Mou City. Momnets later, Yimo came to the depth of the desert Taklamakan Desert to activate the formation disk. 1,000 extreme-grade spirit stones were set into a spirit-gathering formation. This formation disk didn't need a lot of spirit chi, but just in case he still set this up, he only had one chance. 1,000 extreme-grade spirit stones were set into a spirit-gathering formation. This formation disk didn't need a lot of spirit chi, but just in case he still set this up, he only had one chance. He knew that less than 1% of these spirit stones would be used after the activation, but he didn't mind. Whoever can get those unused spirit stones would be their fortune. These spirit stones can keep one healthy and extend one's life even if they weren't absorbed. Then, Yimo took out the fish jump through Dragon Gate formation disc and placed the yin-yang fish and the dragon door disc together. Yimo placed the formation disc in his hand and started inserting cultivation essence. Soon, it left Yimo's hand and started spinning quickly. It started off slow, but as it devoured the spirit chi from Yimo's spirit-gathering formation, it spun rapidly until a faint light enveloped Yimo. 15 minutes later, there was a sudden explosion and a black figure disappeared. Nothing was left in this desert, but only the remnant broken dragon door disc showed that someone had left here. Yimo realized that instant that even if he didn't use extreme-grade spirit stones, this space transmission formation disc would still be useful, but Yimo didn't care. He cared about if he could use this opportunity to learn about space transmission. But Yimo realized he overestimated himself. Even with his powerful spirit sense, he was a little dizzy. He couldn't check his surrounding at all. If it was some ordinary person, he would have fainted already. Thud. Yimo woke up and he found he was on an island. Heartless Sea? Yimo looked around and rejoiced. He knew he came back to the Heartless Sea indeed. It didn't teleport him to any big state, and he still landed in the Heartless Sea. Some minor problems probably happened to the space formation disk. Otherwise, he wouldn't be falling into the Heartless Sea. Not everyone could leave the Heartless Sea safely, but Yemo didn't mind. He still had a flying ship from Insu, and that flying ship speed is just a little lesser than Blue Moon. With his current power, it would be completely for it to fly back to South Peace State. Yemo stood on the coral island and sighed. He just needed to confirm how far South Peace State was. Yemo took out a compass and wanted to see where he was in the Heartless Sea. Just a few thousand km ahead, there was a powerful cultivation essence wave. People were fighting? Yemo scanned his spirit sense over and soon, he was speechless to find that he knew all three of them. It was a Truth Realization State Level 6 and a Truth Realization State Level 9, wanting to stop a Truth Realization State Level 4 female cultivator. This female cultivator had low cultivation level, but was very powerful and charged out of their barricade many times. That Truth Realization State Level 9 and Truth Realization State Level 6 were the cultivators Yemo had seen in the Dragon Tongue Palace. The female cultivator was the Lost Soul Ruins nude female, cultivator Miao Huijin. After his deal with her, she said he saved her and would forever treat him as her benefactor. Yemo didn't mind as if he didn't save her. She wouldn't let him go. Luckily, she was credible and didn't attack him after he saved her. But even though she was very powerful, she was only Truth Realization State Level 4 and was heaving injured under the combined attacks of the other two cultivators. Yemo didn't intend to join this battle, and just when he was about to leave, he saw her flying towards him. Yemo immediately knew that her spirit sense scanned him and wanted to use him. Yemo cursed her. She completely forgot what she said about him before. Yemo hid his power again. He was scared of trouble, but he wasn't scared of these Truth Realization State cultivators. Moments later, they came to where Yemo was. "It's you," the three said in unison. Miao Huijin frowned after saying this, but the other two were overjoyed. "I've been searching for you for so long. I finally see you again today." "Great, this is great. I'm Lan Shirue, Chitian Island leader." That Truth Realization State Level 9 quickly said. Heaven Grade Level 7 Pill King, one that was about to reach Heaven Grade Level 8 Pill King. What was more enticing than this in the Heartless Sea? "I'm Huang Qi of Yilin Island," the other Truth Realization State Level 6 introduced. If it was some ordinary low-level cultivator, he would have kicked him away already. "So it's Island Lord Lan and Island Lord Huang. I didn't expect for us to meet again so quickly." Yemo saluted with his fists calmly. He wanted to get back to South Peace State as quickly as possible, but he could ask the two the way. Yemo said to Miao Huijin, "Sister Miao, we met again so quickly too." Before she could talk, Lan Shirue laughed. "So Sister Miao is Pill King Ye's friend. Then you're our friend. Apologies for the offense before." Moments later, Miao Huijin realized she went from being hunted to being a friend. Yemo hid his power, but Miao Huijin knew Yemo was only cauldron-filling State Level 2. Yemo was this young. How could he be a Pill King? "This place isn't very far from my Chitian Island. Come with us to my island, Pill King Yi. It's a shabby island, but we won't mistreat Pill King Yi. We can have a celebration, by the way. You must come, haha." Lan Shirue said. Miao Huijin was locked up in the Lost Soul Ruins, but she knew from these simple words that Yemo really was a Pill King, and these two clearly didn't want to let Yemo go. Realizing this, Miao Huijin got a headache. She had sworn before to treat Yemo as her savior, but she can't even save herself now. Clearly, it was impossible to save Yemo. But if she didn't help, her oath was very deadly. Divine damnation devouring her heart, that was breaking off her Tao path. Thinking about this, Miao Huijin regretted coming here. Yemo smiled plainly, "Very sorry, but I have other business. I can't go with you to your shabby island." Lan Shirue was being humble, saying his island was shabby, and he invited Yemo with underlying threat intentions. This Pill King Yi was too cocky. Lan Shirue's face sunk immediately. Huang Qi suddenly reached out with his cultivation essence giant hand and sneered, "It's not up to you." Yemo sneered and released his power. His domain expanded, and before Hang Qi's cultivation essence giant hand reached Yemo, it crippled. Immediately, Huang Qi felt he was bound completely. Perfect domain. Huang Qi said in shock, wanting to break free. He did break free, but because of his underestimation, he doesn't have the chance to release his magic artifact. One purple ray flashed and Huang Qi was split in half. An essence spirit was then crushed by Yimo's cultivation essence giant hand. One move, and Huang Qi was dead. No matter how Huang Qi underestimated Yimo, he was a truth realization state middle stage. Lan Qirui's face looked bad and Miao Huijin was so shocked she couldn't speak. Lan Qirui immediately realized Yimo was definitely a truth realization state cultivator, a very powerful one. He definitely hid his power last time. With Yimo's lethal strike, Lan Qirui estimated that even he was no match for Yimo. Such a powerful truth realization state cultivator and a high-level pill king, Lan Qirui didn't want to be enemies with him. He smiled awkwardly and saluted with his fist. Since Pill King you doesn't want to come to my shabby island, then I'll be leaving first. Then he was about to leave. But Yimo said calmly, Island Lord Lan is so free, coming and going as you please. The golden rings immediately expanded into two, nearly 300-meter-long golden rings. At the same time, the countless smaller golden rings formed a golden ring pillar wanting to attack Yimo from inside the golden circle. There was an extreme scorching sensation, and the two 300-meter-long rings had a powerful suction force. Yimo sneered and released his power again. With the surge of his cultivation essence, the space around him was about to freeze. Lan Qirui felt his dual ring start to slow down, and the two main rings shrink. His face changed greatly. There had been all too many truth realization state cultivators on Luoyu continent since the ancient times, but which of them could perfect his domain? But now he believed it. Yimo truly perfected his domain. His dual rings had been suppressed, and if he can't break free of Yimo's domain quickly, they would be completely subjugated. If his magic artifact was subjugated, then he would be in danger. Lan Qirui started burning his essence blood without hesitation. When the dual rings loosened, he breathed easy and was about to retreat. Rumble. Before he retreated, Zissou hacked onto the dual rings. The unfinished ring pillar instantly crippled, splashing golden light everywhere. The purple ray wasn't done yet. It also sliced across Lan Qirui's chest. Splurge. Lan Qirui's cultivation artifact armor was hacked open, bringing a stream of blood flying out in the air. At the same time, Lan Qirui's cultivation essence back lashed on him, and he spat blood flying out a few hundred meters. Midway, he ate a pill and quickly yelled, Pill King Yi. I admit defeat, please forgive me for my past offense. Yimo didn't keep hunting Lan Qirui. He knew that Lan Qirui wasn't heavily injured. If he used his full power, he could kill Lan Qirui, but it would be troublesome. The main thing was that the dual rings were strange, and Yimo felt Lan Qirui didn't use its full power, not even half. He didn't know if it was that Lan Qirui couldn't control it, or he hid his power. Regardless, if Lan Qirui was willing to pay compensation, then he wouldn't mind letting him go. His main goal now wasn't to fight this island lord, but get back to Mou City. Seeing Yimo stopping, Lan Qirui breathed easy. He didn't think of running away from Yimo. If he could, then Yimo wouldn't be so casual. He was cursing in his heart. Yimo, you top-level truth realization state cultivator. Why would you be so bored to pretend to be a low-level cultivator? Even if he wanted Yimo to concoct pills for him, he would connect with him and show his genuine attitude. Miao Huijin looked at Yimo in shock, rejoicing that she didn't try to run away. She didn't expect Yimo to be this powerful. She knew how powerful Lan Qirui was, and if it wasn't that she had a few ancient escape techniques, she would have died many times already. Yet a truth realization state level 9 like this was injured in moments to Yimo, and he admitted defeat. Cultivators had pride, and admitting defeat wasn't easy. Lan Qirui hesitated for a long while before taking out a jade box to Yimo. Pill King Yi, you're a level 9 Pill King. I happen to have a level 9 spirit herb marrow essence mushroom. Now it's yours, Pill King Yi. Hearing this, Yimo's face sunk. It was rather precious in the Heartless Sea. Any spirit herb that was level 9 was precious, but Emo had a whole pile of them in the golden page world. Seeing this, Lan Chirue immediately knew things wasn't good. Suddenly, Emo's power rose drastically. Lan Chirue was shook. This power was much more dominant than before. Did Emo not even use his full power? Thinking about this, Lan Chirue didn't dare to hesitate at all and took out a faint blue jade box. I have something here that Pil Kingi might be interested in. Emo took the jade box and opened it. He immediately found a rare flame inside. It was Earth Flame, the 16th ranked in the Cultivation Realm Dragon Heart Flame. It was ranked 16th, but it was very rare as it was from a dragon core. For dragon-related spirit beasts, it was better than Heaven Flame. Emo took the jade box and opened it. He immediately found a rare flame inside. It was Earth Flame, the 16th ranked in the Cultivation Realm Dragon Heart Flame. It was ranked 16th, but it was very rare as it was from a dragon core. For dragon-related spirit beasts, it was better than Heaven Flame. Emo was very happy seeing the Dragon Heart Flame. Even if he didn't need it, there would be people around him who would need it. Seeing Emo take it, Lan Chirue finally breathed easy and ached in his heart. This was a very hard to get rare flame, and now he lost it for no reason. Lan Chirue didn't want to stay here for a minute, so he smiled awkwardly and saluted with his fists. Pil Kingi, in that case, I won't stay here anymore. Emo immediately nodded and just wanted to agree when Miao Huijin suddenly said, Wait. Lan Chirue didn't think much of Miao Huijin, but he had to look at Emo. Emo looked at Miao Huijin in confusion. She said to Emo, the reason he had that Huang Qi wanted to kill me was because I found a big secret, and they wanted to seal my mouth. Lan Chirue's face changed drastically, but he quickly said, It's no secret. Just a few sealed spirit ranges were found under the Lost Soul ruins. Emo heard this and lost interest. He still had tins of extreme-grade spirit ranges in his golden page world. If it was some other time, he might be willing to spend some time to get it, but not now. Miao Huijin sneered. It's definitely not a few spirit ranges. It's a spirit-nourishing well with those few spirit ranges there just to preserve it. Hearing this, Emo's heart shook. How could he not know what a spirit-nourishing well was? The hardest thing to improve for a cultivator was spirit sense. Spirit sense usually improved slower than your cultivation level. Spirit sense was even more important to cultivators than cultivation essence, so all cultivators would try to improve their spirit sense. There were very few spirit items that could improve one's spirit sense power. Even the spirit recovery pill was just to repair the spirit sense, not improve it. But the spirit nourishing well was something that could increase spirit sense, and it was very rare. If you drank from this well or cultivated next to it, your spirit sense would grow faster than ordinary cultivators, even with a spirit sense cultivation method. What shook Emo was that he knew from Thing there were two types of spirit nourishing wells. One was natural, formed by extreme-grade spirit items or spirit chi. Once it was used up, it would completely disappear. Another was formed by the spirit refining pearl, and the value of it was immeasurable. It was in complete ruins instead of the vague outline of the city he saw before. Once here, Emo's spirit sense scanned to the other three people. Emo was speechless. He knew all three again. It was Tengyi's father Tengxiong, Zhuin Island Lord Jiefeng, and another truth realization state level 7 he saw at the Dragon Tong Palace. The three stood at a plain gray stone block as though waiting for Lan Chirue and Huang Qi to come back. Seeing this tablet, Emo knew there was a level 9 stealth formation that was broken in not long ago. With the dense spirit chi emitting out, Emo could guess there were a few extreme-grade spirit ranges. Island Lord Lan, you actually found Emo? Teng Xiong and the other truth realization state level 7 saw Emo and also looked very happy. They didn't know why Lan Chirue would bring Emo back, but since he appeared they weren't going to let Lan Chirue keep Emo to himself. How could Lan Chirue not know what they meant? There was a sneer on his mouth, but he didn't speak. Yimo just nodded, saluted with his fists to Jiefeng, ignoring Tang Xiong, and the truth realization state level 7, Island Lord Jia. Long time no see. Yimo just nodded, saluted with his fists to Jiefeng, ignoring Tang Xiong, and the truth realization state level 7, Island Lord Jia. Long time no see. Haha. Jiefeng laughed and came up, patting Yimo on the shoulder. Brother Yimo. Long time no see. Thanks for the spirit herb you left last time, allowing my daughter to have a new life. Now that I finally see you again, if you're free, you must come to my island. Yimo knew Jiefeng wanted to help him. He knew last time that Tang Xiong and them wanted to forcefully take him away. He probably thought he was forced over here by Lan Chirue, and thus he invited him over to his island as a guest. He's implying that Yimo is my guest. If anyone wants to harm him, then he's looking for trouble with me. Seeing Yimo only nod to them, Tang Xiong and the truth realization state level 7 were very annoyed. A mere cauldron-filling state level 2 dared to be like this, but remember Yimo was a level 7 pill king. They forced down their anger. A level 7 pill king was a money-making tree. Just imagine what owning a level 7 pill king in the Heartless Sea meant. Countless high-level beast cultivator and cultivators would come asking for pills, and all sorts of good resources would be provided to him. Seeing that Jiefeng wants to have a peace, Tang Xiong was immediately unhappy. Jiefeng was powerful, but not powerful enough to take on them three. Tang Xiong immediately signaled to Lan Chirue wanting to join up against Jiefeng, but Lan Chirue kept his head low and didn't even look over nor use his spirit sense. Seeing this, both Tang Xiong and Lan Chirue were shocked. Jiefeng thought that after saying that, Tang Xiong and them would join up against him. Yimo saved his daughter. Regardless, if he could save Yimo this time, he would do his best. If he really can't, then he wouldn't feel guilty as he tried his best. But he didn't expect Lan Chirue to back out. Jiefeng immediately realized that Lan Chirue definitely Yimo was a pill king and wanted Yimo to work for him long time. He didn't want to share Yimo with Tang Xiong and Gongxia. But if Lan Chirue had such thoughts, why bring Yimo over? Could he beat Tang Xiong? That was impossible. There were only 16 truth realization state cultivators in this area of the truth realization state, and everyone knew each other. Lan Chirue was definitely no match for Tang Xiong. Even Gongxia stopped his rage. Even though he wasn't afraid of Lan Chirue, he was the weakest here. He didn't believe Tang Xiong would give up Yimo easily. As long as Tang Xiong didn't give up on Yimo, he would have a way to split some benefits. Yimo just smiled and saluted with his fists. Thank you, Island Lord Jia, but Yimo is busy, and I'm about to go back. I just heard that Island Lord Lan say he found a few extreme-grade spirit ranges here, so I came to earn something wealth and get a few spirit ranges to use. Hearing this, Tang Xiong and Gongxia realized that Yimo and Lan Chirue reached an agreement. He would only help Lan Chirue, and because Lan Chirue was backing him up, Yimo dared to speak like this. Jiefeng was bewildered. With him helping, it was strange that Yimo still rejected his offer to help. Even though Lan Chirue was a truth realization state level 9, what right did he have to take all the spirit ranges here? But concerning Yimo, he didn't talk. Extreme-grade spirit ranges were valuable, but if he could use it to not owe Yimo anymore, he would be willing to. Tang Xiong knew it was Lan Chirue behind this, but he still sneered to Yimo. Little brother Yi, you're so bold. Do you think you can certainly beat Island Lord Jia, Island Lord Gong, and me? Then what do you want? Yimo asked. We found it first. Since you came last, then you can only wait till we've split it. Tang Xiaogan said this, expecting Lan Chirue to immediately say something. Everyone looked at Lan Chirue, wanting to know if he would say something after having his rights to a share taken. But he stood up and said, I have no objections to Pill King Ye's words. Everyone sneered. It was indeed so. Gongxia glanced at Tang Xiong and immediately knew that he was completely furious. Gongxia stood out and said, Island Lord Lan doesn't mind, but I do. Yimo, you came last, but you want a few spirit ranges. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because someone is supporting you? No matter how powerful your support is, I, Gongxia, will take back the share that belongs to me. What do you think, Island Lord Jia? Jiefeng felt something was wrong. Unless Lan Chirue was crazy or he didn't want to live, he would dare to challenge all of them for a few spirit ranges. Thinking about this, he said loudly, If these 3 or 4 spirit ranges really belongs to Yimo, then I don't mind. I owe brother Yi one. Gongja was shook. He didn't expect Jiefeng would be willing to give up extreme-grade spirit range to Lan Chirue. But he wasn't an idiot, and also realized something was wrong. Yimo sneered, Island Lord Gong's words are like farts. How come I heard that these few spirit ranges are first found by my friend Miao Huijin? Now, it becomes you found it first. Is your face thicker than my magic artifact? Everyone else dazed. Miao Huijin was a truth realization state level 4. Who would take her seriously? Gongja's face burst red, but this time he didn't waste time talking with Yimo. He looked coldly at Lan Chirue and said, Island Lord Lan, do you think you can ridicule me however you like, just because you're a little stronger than me? I'm truth realization state level 7, but I don't fear Island Lord Lan. Lan Chirue sneered, Gongja, you want to start trouble? I'm not scared of you too. Which ear did you hear me insulting you? Point out someone who heard me insulting you. Am I looking for trouble, or are you? Very well, very well. After being insulted by a cauldron-filling state level 2 and Lan Chirue, Gongja couldn't hold his fury anymore and a blue magic artifact appeared on his hand. He released it with full power immediately. At the same time, his blue magic artifact turned into a huge club that was covered in lightning that loomed over the nearby 100 meters. Yimo happened to be under it. Gongja used his full power immediately as he knew Lan Chirue would stop him. Another lightning element magic artifact and a half-extreme grade cultivation artifact. Yimo sneered. Jiefeng was shook. Gongja was only truth realization state level 7, so he didn't consider him a threat, but this person had such a powerful magic artifact. The lightning club emitted more than 10 baby arm-sized lightning arcs down. Its power was shocking. Even space itself seemed to be getting unstable. Lan Chirue's face changed. He thought he would be able to beat Gongja without trouble, but with this move, Gongja showed power not far from his. Plus, lightning arcs were one of the most powerful offensive means. This meant that Gongja was on par with him. Even if he wanted to beat Gongja, it wouldn't be a quick fight. He might even need to use secret techniques. Everyone looked at Lan Chirue. They believed that Yimo wouldn't be able to live under such terrifying lightning arc attacks. Seeing Lan Chirue's face changed, they realized that Lan Chirue's greed really took over his reason. But both Jiefeng and Teng Xiong didn't move. They knew that Lan Chirue would save Yimo. But the next moment their face changed greatly. Lan Chirue didn't move at all. Jiefeng regretted. No matter what, Yimo was dead for sure now. He wouldn't even be able to save him in time. Gongja saw that Yimo didn't want to dodge at all, and Lan Chirue didn't move either, and was very shook. He didn't want to kill Yimo, but only wanted to teach Yimo a lesson to warn Lan Chirue. Gongja saw that Yimo didn't want to dodge at all, and Lan Chirue didn't move either, and was very shook. He didn't want to kill Yimo, but only wanted to teach Yimo a lesson to warn Lan Chirue. As long as Yimo had the will to dodge, he could save him, but Yimo didn't even want to move. He didn't even flinch. Yimo didn't move because although these lightning arcs would be enough to kill truth realization state primary stage cultivators, they were just like a tickle to him. He was God state body refinement now, and even if he wasn't, devouring lightning source was all too easy for him. These lightning arcs would at most break his clothes. Thud thud, the lightning arcs fell on Yimo's body and made eerie low thuds. There wasn't the sound of crisp lightning strikes that there was supposed to be. Everyone thought that after that blast, Yimo would be turned to dust. But after that vibrant wave of lightning arcs, everyone's was dazed. Yimo patted the dust off his shirt and seemed very at ease. Not even his clothes were creased, nor a hair out of place. The scene was dead silent. Everyone saw the power of the lightning arcs. No one believed they would be able to dodge it without even creasing their shirt. But Yimo did this without a magic artifact or taking any action. He just stood there. Lan Chirue's eyes spasmed. He felt he underestimated Yimo. Yimo was more powerful than he had imagined. Teng Xiong's heart sunk. He realized who Yimo's support was. Yimo was pretending to be weak this whole time. With this power, not even Jiefeng would be a match for him. He had the power to take a few spirit ranges. He finally realized why Lan Chirue kept his head low coming here. He didn't force Yemo to come over. Yemo forced Lan Chirue to lead the way. Jiefeng took a cold breath in. He also felt concerned about the lightning arcs, but Yemo was able to take it without moving. Not even truth realization state peak stage cultivators could do this. He felt the same as Teng Xiong. Yemo had hit his power. Thinking that he didn't force Yemo before, he rejoiced his decision. If he forced Yemo and angered Yemo, then not only would he not be able to make such a friend, but he would lose his 2 daughters also. The scene was dead silent, as what Yemo did wasn't something truth realization state cultivators could do. This was on the level of a hollow immortal. Gongzhe was also shook, but the instant he reacted his back was covered in sweat. Before he could retreat, Yemo sneered. "You want to retreat after blasting me with lightning? Keep dreaming." Yemo waved his hand, and a lightning sword was released. It was the size of a grown man's arm, and it was black like ink. With a rumble, the lightning sword was about to land on Gongzhe. The danger of being killed came. Gongzhe in his worry didn't even take back his mace to block this strike. He just wanted to dodge the lightning sword. But the next moment, he sweat even more. He felt the space around him turn solid and he could barely move. In that instant, he could only barely move his head aside. With a rumble, the black lightning sword slashed into Gongzhe's shoulder. Gongzhe was smashed and etched into solid ground, his entire arm now missing. After spitting blood, Gongzhe crawled up and quickly took back his magic artifact. "Pil King Yi, I exit the spirit range Phi." Before Yemo replied, he roared, "Palace Lord Tung, Island Lord Lan, you can't just watch me die. We 5 islands." Gongzhe knew from what Yemo just showed that he was hugely lucky he wasn't instantly killed. Plus, that was only 1 lightning sword before. If Yemo used a few more, or 10 more, what would he do then? Lan Chirue took a cold breath in. He had other cards, but so did Yemo. This lightning sword was so powerful just with 1. Who was certain that Yemo could only use 1? If Yemo used more than 10 and trapped him, wouldn't he be in the same situation as Gongzhe? Lan Chirue and Teng Xiong instantly realized the situation, and before Yemo could attack again, the 2 stood out and saluted with their fists. "Pil King Yi, since Island Lord Gong admitted his wrongs already, please have mercy." Yemo did intend to kill Gongzhe to assert dominance, but he had some concerns. He didn't know the relationship between Jiefeng and Teng Xiong in them. He wasn't afraid of Teng Xiong and Lan Chirue, but if the 2 joined forces, he wouldn't have a lot of upper hand. If Jiefeng was involved, then his main purpose would be affected. He came here not to kill, but for the spirit-refining pearl. Even if he didn't kill Gongzhe, he already asserted his dominance, so he nodded. "Since you 2 asked, I'll show mercy to this man. If he dares to offend me again, I will crush him." Gongzhe's face was pale like snow, and now that Yemo finally let him go, he was overjoyed. Seeing this, the 2 breathed easy. They weren't confident in taking on Yemo together. Plus, they hadn't been on good terms with Jiefeng and had long wanted to annihilate Inju Island. If Gongzhe was dead, they would have 1 less ally. If this balance was broken, it wasn't good. Even though he knew Lan Chirue was forced over by Yemo, Teng Xiong still asked, "Island Lord Lan, where did Huangqi go?" Before Lan Chirue could reply, Yemo said coldly, "I killed him." Huangqi had been Lan Chirue's follower, and now that Yemo said he killed him in front of Lan Chirue didn't show any expression. Teng Xiong and Gongzhe all felt fear. They had even dared to try and capture Yemo for pill concoction. Gongzhe hid on the side, not even daring to overtly eat pills. He was regretful to the extreme. Jiefeng and Teng Xiong, the 2 old foxes, must have seen something and thus didn't make a move. But he didn't think carefully and just jumped straight in. He was very lucky to even be alive. Jiefeng walked up and saluted with his fists to Yemo. "I really didn't expect Brother Yi to be this powerful, and I even dared to give you a few pointers." Yemo said, "I admire Island Lord Jie's character. I wish to be friends. Island Lord Jie is older than me. If you think we're friends, just call me Yemo, haha, then I won't be too polite. It's my luck to know a friend like Brother Yi." Jeffong laughed. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.